welcome. Glad that you're here. We got orders from eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and whatnot going out from the weekend. So last time I shipped was Saturday around noontime. So we got 48 hours worth of sales here. So as always, every Monday I go live. I give you a good, honest glimpse into my business and what's happening on a Monday. And on Monday, we're typically shipping out a lot of the orders from the weekend. And it was a good weekend. So we will be shipping for quite some time today. So excited to share a little bit of time with you. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So welcome in, everybody. Where's my chat here? If you haven't said hello down below in the chat, I would love to hear from you, hear how things are going. How was your weekend and all that? Let's get some labels printed out here. Welcome in, welcome in. And if you're watching over on Instagram, just a note, you can go over to YouTube and Facebook and you get kind of the wider screen if you're interested in that sort of thing. But you're welcome to watch on Instagram on the smaller screen too. Whatever makes you happy. We're going to get our shipping labels printed out here. We got a big stack of orders going out this morning, or I guess this afternoon. So welcome in, everyone. Josh is in the house. What's up? What's up? Closer to Homemade. Good afternoon to you. Welcome, welcome. Adam, what is up? Hey, MEH, how are you over on Instagram? Welcome in, everybody. I'm going to show you everything that sold over the weekend. I'm going to tell you how much it sold for. I'm going to tell you what my profit was, how long they took to sell. I'm going to answer questions. We're going to talk shop. So whether you're a new reseller, an old reseller, thinking about getting started, you're in the right place, I think. So let's get these organized. You're going to let me know. You're the boss for just a moment. What are we going to ship first? eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, or whatnot? Just type that down below in the chat, and the first answer that I see, that's what we'll ship first. But we're going to ship all the platforms. Don't you worry. Scott is in. Adam's in the house. What's up? MJG, what's up from Nashville? How are you, bud? Hello, Judith. Welcome in. Michigan is in the house. You know, we haven't done that in a little while. We haven't done kind of like an around the horn. Like, where's everyone joining from? I'd love to hear what states, what cities are representing. But we know we got Michigan in the house. That's kind of cool. Yeah, we haven't done like around the horn in a little bit. What's up, Mark? Hope the weather is great. Weather is hot here in Nashville. Hope you're well, Mark. We had a really hot weekend here in the mountains. Doesn't get much hotter than what we had this weekend. I think it was 90 or 91 one of the days. Like that's hot for here. And it was like crazy humid. What's up, Chemo? Welcome in, brother. 21 sales this weekend. I ran an 8% sale on eBay to help out. I like the very specific 8% sale, but nice job getting those 21 sales. Love to hear that. Love hearing about how things are going in your neck of the woods. Adam says whatnot first. That's what we'll ship first. I wasn't going to guess that somebody was going to say whatnot. We don't ship a lot of whatnot. Happy to make another live. July was brutal for me, but August is already at July's numbers. Jeez, and we're only today's only the 17th, and you've already hit July numbers. That's awesome. I mean, a great representation of the ups and downs of this business too, right? We got Fort Wayne in the house. Right on. What's up, Summit City? Is that what Fort Wayne is? Is that known as Summit City? I wouldn't have guessed that. I wouldn't have guessed. Or what is Summit City if it's not Fort Wayne? All right. We got a lot of orders going out. So let's make sure I got these in order. I don't think I do. Yep, I got them in order. Yay. All right. We said we were going to do whatnot first. Okay. Got a couple of neat orders on whatnot. Actually, a really good one right here. So full price sale here on this Ralph Lauren. Now, you've hear me talk about blazers a lot. Is this the only blazer? I think this is the only suit and blazer that we have going out from the last couple of days. But we can see Ralph Lauren here. Really nice in style plaid pattern. And it's got like it's like a kind of a twill knit to it right there. So Ralph Lauren, nice plaid. This is a size 52 or a 50R. And actually, I get this question from time to time. See right there? The size and the materials tag is missing on this blazer, and I bought it anyway. People ask me about that a lot. The reason I pick these up and I don't worry about it is because I measure all of my clothing items anyway, and I put measurements right in all the listings. So it's easy for me to just look at the measurements of this and compare it to other similar blazers from Ralph Lauren to determine what the size is of this one. So I don't let that deter me. And I have the measurements in there, and I just note in the listing, hey, there's no size tag on this, but it measures like a 50R, but I included the measurements in the listing so you can confirm that this bad Larry fits for you. So this sold it took 55 days to sell, so just under 2 months, sold for full asking price $43. I spent $7 at the thrift, and Whatnot has lower fees. So is it going to tell me what I'm going to make after fees on Whatnot here? Let's see if it shows me if I click on like the order details. Maybe I'm on the shipping screen. Maybe if I go to the order screen, it will let me know. Got 2 orders on Whatnot, by the way, going out from the weekend. Welcome in, everybody. So after fees, they're gonna pay me out $37.66. So it's an 8% fee or commission, they call it, and then 2.9% payment processing fee plus that 30 cents. So altogether, you're really looking at like 12.9, maybe 13%, we'll call it. So ends up being $37.66 for me. I paid $7, so I made $30 off this blazer. Took 55 days to sell. Really, really nice pattern on that one. Really nice pattern. Yes, Fort Wayne is known as Summit City. Interesting. Is there like any elevation there? Is there a mountain in Fort Wayne? I did not know that. Good afternoon. What's up? Walking with Zach. What's up, Zach? Texas is in the house. We got Lakeland, Florida in the house. What's up, Matthew? I know Lakeland. I picked up a moving truck once in Lakeland right after a hurricane. Long story. Webb City, Missouri is in the house. Do you do eBay evaluation? Tell me a little bit more about what you mean. What are you asking? I'm sorry. What's up, Alpha? Ann in Coolimi. Where is that? I don't think I've heard of that town. Coolimi. I don't think I've heard of that town. Fellow North Carolinian. What's up, Grand Ann? Just found some Cato salvage pants score. Nice, Adam. Good grab on those. Santa Barbara's in the house. We got West Texas 105 today. That is not peak weather right there. Stay cool. Greetings from colorful Colorado. Nice. Deanna, where in Colorado are you? I used to live in Denver, Kim and I, for a couple of years. Sold 20 orders in total on eBay, Depop and Posh. We got that's nice. Love to hear your 20 orders over the weekend. Let's go. Wyoming piece. I didn't know. Did I know you were in Wyoming? Piece of scrap. Whereabouts in Wyoming are you? I have been to. I spent some time in Lander, Wyoming. Maybe we've talked about this before. I see that's a green tag Ralph Lauren blazer. Is there a difference between the colors? I'm not really sure. I'm colorblind, so I don't really pay attention to that stuff all that much. So maybe there is. I don't know. Are there different color Ralph Laurens? I don't know. I just never pay attention. I'm colorblind for real. What's happening, man? Moss is in the house. How are you? Thanks for the comments on videos and stuff over the weekend. I don't take that stuff for granted. Hope you're having a good day. Just got in from a little thrift run and errand trip. Finally able to catch most of your live. Yeah, I'm a little late today too. I did some listing this morning. I just felt like, I don't know, Monday sets the tone. Like I need to get some listings up because last week I wasn't as good with my listings. So I was like, I want to get ahead on listings this week to make up for a slower listing week last week. So just start with the most important things first, right? Good afternoon, Chris in chat. What's up, Absolute Finds? Hey, Chris, hope you had a good weekend. What's up, Jamcat? You had a good weekend of sales. Just sold my second blazer this morning. Brooks Brothers Regent Fit sales were pretty great this weekend. That's awesome. Congrats on your second blazer. Do you have some more in inventory? Are you ramping up with it? People always ask me like how I ship these. It's just like any of the clothing that I ship. It goes into a clear poly bag. This one's a little bit of a bigger clear poly bag. I use 2 different sizes. I'm going to put the link to all of my recommended reselling supplies, including shipping supplies, including these clear bags. So you can check that out if you want to see the exact size I use down there. You can see I have 2 different sizes of these bags. These big ones for blazers and suits and like heavy jackets and things like that. And we do have a heavy jacket going out today. And then the smaller size is for basically everything else. So just oversized stuff goes in those big ones. And then I just fold them up. I fold mine inside out just because my thought process is if it's inside out, then all the things that you don't want to get damaged, like the nice exterior, the buttons and all that stuff, that's on the inside. So in transit, if something happens, it's not really as big of a deal because it's inside out, but there's no like right or wrong way. People always ask me, how do you fold them so you don't get wrinkles on your blazer? I'm like, well, that's freaking impossible. There's no way to fold a blazer so that it's not going to wrinkle in transit in a poly bag going across the country. So I wouldn't, don't overthink it. Fold that thing, get it into a poly bag, make it look fairly presentable. I mean, somebody paid you money for the item, but I wouldn't I wouldn't try to get it over there unwrinkled. It's just not gonna end up happening that way. So this one is going out $30 profit on this one, 55 days to sell, whatnot sale out the door. Warren, Ralph Warren. The more I buy and sell blazers and suits, the more I focus on the pattern. I've always focused on materials, but man, the pattern makes such a big difference. And right now, like plaid patterns just sell so well for me. So that's our first order out the door. Next up is another whatnot order. This is one of these ping hats. I picked these up retail clearance a long time ago. I picked them up in like January. I had a big bag of them. I threw them in the closet, totally forgot about them. And then I listed these like just over a month ago. So I got some new hats on my hat rack here. So this ping one went out the door. This sold for full asking price on whatnot, $23.99. I'm going to throw this in an 8x6x6 box. I buy most of my boxes. I buy from Staples.com. I use a lot of boxes for my coffee business, so I always have 8x6x4, 8x6x6, 10x8x6, 14x10x6 always on hand, and I get them shipped to my front door at Staples.com, free shipping. I have all that stuff linked in that document, that recommended reseller supplies document. Y'all, if you haven't checked it out, dropped a new YouTube video on Wednesday. We went down, I thrifted some of the richest zip codes, richest towns and areas in just outside of Charlotte. So some of the actually, I think it's like the second or third wealthiest, like per household income zip code in North Carolina. We went to one of those, and yeah, we went to a few others that were in the top 10. So check out that video on YouTube if you haven't checked it out yet. I had fun making that one. A little cannonball run down to the Charlotte area that I did last week. So this ping hat. Welcome in, everybody. How's the weekend? What's good? Francis is in the house. The green label, Lauren, is a few years old. They have phased into black and white and tan and black color labels. So green is 5 years or older. Every time I see Goran T, I don't know if I say it right, but whenever I see Gaw Fashions in the chat, I always learn in my comments. I always learn something. You always have like good insight and positive vibes, and I appreciate both of those things a lot. Fort Wayne earned the nickname Summit City in the 1830s because it was the highest elevation point above sea level along the entire route of the historic Wabash and Erie Canal. How about that? Well, I asked and I got my thoughtful answer. I appreciate that, Summit City. What is up, Surf Sub? Gigi Daisy is in the house. What's up, Gigi? How are you? What's new? What's good? What's happening in Connecticut? What's the latest? I don't remember how much I paid for this ping hat, but I got a whole bunch of hats on clearance and multi-quantity too. So, like listing one, list one item with photos and then just set the quantity to whatever it was. I actually have another ping hat going out on eBay today too. So 2 of them. So just easy money on those multi-quantity items, even if it's not huge profit per item. Easy money. Hats are so easy to list too. It's no measurements with hats, Welcome in, everybody. Happy Monday. Let's see. Oops, I gotta catch up on chat. Yo, what is up? Let's go here. Mark. I don't know if your ears were ringing Saturday morning, but I was shouting Chris at Peak, found Giorgio Armani blazer, Ralph Lauren blazer, Brooks Brothers suit, Harris plaid. Ooh, let's go. Corneliani suit. That's amazing. That's freaking awesome. No, my ears weren't ringing, but I'm very happy that you got some good scores there. That's a sick rundown right there. Thanks for helpful hints. Wondering how many items you source a week, and are any of them wholesale, non-thrift store acquisitions? I source from thrift stores, and retail clearance is kind of where I'm doing most of my sourcing right now, not wholesale. And I have done wholesale before. That's not part of my game right now. How many items a week? Depends on the week, but I list 70 to 80 items most weeks. I don't really have a number for you of like how many I source per week because it varies a lot, but I list 70 to 80 a week. Hadn't thought about listing my blazers on Whatnot. I list everything everywhere, no matter what. Good afternoon, good guy Flips. Welcome in. 2 nifty updates. $450 in Posh earnings, a bunch of auto offer sales on eBay Posh, and still less than a third of my total inventory cross-listed. Got it. Josh's 2-week Nifty update. I love it. $450 in Posh earn. I mean, that's crazy, right? You've had it for 2 weeks. You're going to pay $70 for the whole month, and you got $450 in Posh earnings from it. I mean, it's like it paid for itself like in the first day, 2 days, something like that. I mean, it's crazy. I appreciate that check-in, and I'm just super excited that you're seeing success with Nifty. Bull of the day, State and Liberty. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. It's tough. It's a tough one to spot. You got to know what you're looking for those State and Liberties. Yeah, great bull. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Good afternoon from Lakeland. We got 2 Lakelands in the house. What's up, Kevin? How are you? Somebody else was from Lakeland that they checked in a little bit earlier. Your help last week already paid off big. Nice. I'm glad to hear that. It was good to talk to you, Michael. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed it a lot. Just that nifty like D-list thing it's probably worth its weight in gold right there. Rock Springs, Wyoming. I don't know where that is, but I'm gonna have to Google that. Let's get this over here. I'm going to Google it right now because I am Rock Springs, Wyoming. I wish when we were in Denver for those couple years that I spent more time exploring the West. We did spend a good amount of time exploring the West, don't get me wrong, but I wish I spent more now that we're not there. What is going on? Something fall? Oh, the fan is just blowing up. Never mind. The AC fan is blowing up like a bag with a tag over there. I was like, what is that noise? Rock Springs is in, where is this? Okay. Gotcha. So I probably passed right through Rock Springs. No, never mind. I lied. Yeah, I've never been out that far west in Wyoming. Cool. Anyway, I wanted to check that out. I love the West. Tucson, Arizona here. Yes, it's hot most of the time here. Yeah, totally familiar with that. Yes, Purple Label, Ralph Lauren is the most expensive label. Was somebody asking about Purple Label? Kulimi is between Winston-Salem and Salisbury. Okay, cool. Gotcha. I didn't know that. I know that area pretty well. I've never heard of that little town. Obviously, I don't know it that well. I recently had a great girls trip to Asheville. Beautiful place. I'm glad you had a good time. That's cool. It sounds like fun, a girls trip to the mountains. I post 10 items per day from the chat. And Chris, how many do you guys post? I do 70 to 80 a week. I don't list daily, but it's a good question. Let's answer the question. We don't get a lot of these. Like, question for the chat: how many do you list a day? And if you just do weekly, you can do weekly too. But give us an idea of like how much you're listing. Thank you. Your content is great, and we all appreciate you sharing your knowledge. Also, I like the ping hat. Easy money. Yep, that's right. Appreciate the vibes. Gearing up for Q4. I like it. It won't stop raining in Connecticut. We've had like rain like basically every single day. It'll rain in the afternoon just because it's been so hot and humid. So I think we're probably in a similar weather pattern to you, Gigi. I have 18 packages going out today. Some are multi-item orders. I also shipped on Saturday. Let's go, Summit City. Nice little weekend. Nice little weekend. I love to hear about it. My wife found a thrift store doing a kids clearance event, 10 items for $1. Wow, that's a good deal. Picked up 120 items for $12, and she sold her first item for $15. Baseball shorts in 5 minutes. She's hooked now. Yep. So now that whole haul is paid for on that one item that you sold already. That's pretty awesome. I use the UPS security boxes to ship my blazers. Nice. I have found 7 or 8 in stock right now. I buy some as I see them. Learned that I have to be very thorough when buying because of all the flaws on blazers. Yep, definitely got to be thorough. People don't want like holes and stains in their blazers. They're wearing them to like nice events. I don't know what that's all about, Tony. I might have missed something. I saw one yesterday. Dress shirt, truly unassuming label. Oh, talking about the State and Liberty, I think. What's up, Francis? How are you? Welcome in. Always good to have you. So I had an interesting weekend. I went to a garage sale. They advertised it as reseller inventory. I got there exactly at 9, and I walked into her garage. Tekken Sports is there. Oh yeah, is he in your area? I don't even know where that cat lives. Was he shopping the garage sale, or what's the scoop? What was he doing there? I didn't know he still like sourced like a normal peasant like us. He was really nice, and we talked for a bit about the industry and the grind. I like it. I like it. Although I don't agree with his takes 100%, it was nice to talk to him. Yeah, I won't share any opinions. He seems like a nice guy. I'm glad you got a chance to talk. It's always fun to talk to a fellow reseller, especially someone who's been in the biz for so long, right? That's just got, I'm sure he had a lot to talk about, you know what I mean? Because he's just been there, done that, done a lot of different things. So pretty cool conversation. 3 hours from anywhere, Southwest Wyoming. Yeah, that totally makes sense. 40 to 50 weekly listings. Nice, Jam Cat. Nice little hustle over there. I do 20 per day and set drafts. Helps me pace myself and not feel guilty for not working every hour of the day. Self-employment can always make you feel like you should be doing more. 100%. Yeah, I like your mindset there. I list as much as I can because my death pile keeps getting bigger. Uh-oh, the monster in the corner. Yeah, we're both from South Florida. He bought her out of his wholesale boxes. Gotcha. That's funny to just kind of like run into somebody that you see on the YouTube screen all the time, right? Kind of fun. And he's been at it for quite some time. All right, let's get back into some orders. Whatnot's out the door. I'm going to jump into eBay next and work that way. So first up, we're going to go just in chronological order as they came in. So this would have been something that sold early Saturday afternoon. You know, it was crazy. This weekend was a great weekend of sales. Last week was a very kind of roller coaster type of week for sales, which happens a lot this time of year. Like this is kind of a little bit of a slow season for me. August is usually a down month every year. I'm down about 8% from July, I think 8.6% from July exactly, which is very typical. But it was trending more like 12 or 15% down until this weekend. This weekend was just really, really strong. But I mean, it was cranking. Sunday was cranking. And then Kim and I left and went out for a hike around 1 yesterday afternoon. And like, it was busy, like right up until 1. And then we got done our, when we're on our hikes out in Pisgah Forest or whatever, we usually don't have any service out there. So came back into service. And I think I sold like 1 total item from the time we left the house at like 1 until like, I don't know, what was it, like 4:30 when we got back into town. I was like, what the heck just happened? Like, we were just like full speed ahead, selling like crazy. And then it was kind of slow like the rest of the evening, but it was still a good weekend. But it had like a great weekend, but it had a chance to be just like an elite weekend. But it's sort of like it just sputtered out yesterday afternoon, which was kind of interesting. But anyway, these FootJoy golf pants. I don't pick up a lot of FootJoy polos anymore unless it's got a really great pattern or a really like great country club logo on it. Or if I can bundle it up. I sold a bundle of golf polos just the other day from FootJoy. But the pants I'll still pick up. These pants I paid $5 for. They sold on a nifty best offer at $24.29. So what happened here is Bob, the buyer, watched this item on eBay. 10 minutes later, Nifty sent a 10% off auto offer. That's what I have Nifty programmed to do. So it waits 10 minutes after the person watches the item to see if they buy it full price. You don't want to like cannibalize a full price sale. They don't buy it in that 10 minutes. Nifty sends that discount. You can make it an 8% discount. You can make it a 15% discount. You can make it a 20% discount, whatever you want to do. But it's a great way to close deals, because I don't want them going and finding these same FootJoy pants in your closet or your store and buying them. So that's why that nifty best offer. And I love that it sends it really quickly, because I want to close the deal before someone else closes the deal. Oftentimes people will go and they'll look at a few different pairs of pants. They'll watch a few of them on Poshmark. They'll like a few of them, and then they'll like make their decision later. Boom, I want to pounce, give them a good deal, and let's get this deal done quickly before they buy from someone else. So that's what happened with these FootJoys. A nifty offer right here. I'm going to drop down below. We're talking about Nifty. Nifty's my cross lister. It also has the automation tools, which is what I'm referring to right now. And it has AI listing tools. So I list all my items using Nifty's AI. So all I do is drop the photos into Nifty, and you can do it on the mobile app, or you can do it on the computer. I'm pointing to my computer. And it'll just write the item title, write the description, and check all those boxes on eBay and Poshmark, like the sizes and the materials and all those like item specifics, does all that for me. I double check it. I tweak a couple things, boom, hit list, and it pushes it out to the four platforms that I sell on. And of course, when something sells, it'll automatically take it down from the other platforms. So that was a nifty best offer, one of the automation tools built into Nifty that closed that sale for me. I love that. This next sale was a full price sale, but then the one after this is another nifty best offer. Every day I get multiple extra sales as a result of that feature alone. So it's such a moneymaker for me. If you have any questions about Nifty, let me know. I dropped a link for a free trial right there in the chat. That link's also in the description of this video, and it's always available at chris@peak.com. So all you got to do is tap that link, put in your information. You get a free 7-day trial. You can see how it works for your business. See if it's making you extra money. If it does, you can commit and you can sign up for it. We see somewhere around 95, 96% of people who actually sign up for the free trial convert and actually just like pay and say, hey, this is working for my business. That's really high conversion rates. So if it's something you're thinking about, you're thinking it's an opportunity to grow your business and an opportunity to get some of your time back, that's what Nifty represents, both of those opportunities for you. If you have any questions, follow-up questions, want to see something, let me know. I'm all about it. It is hardwired into my business. I've been using it for 28 months now since I switched to Nifty from another cross lister and another automation tool, and it's such a step up. It's been such a great relationship, and it feels like Nifty gets better every couple of weeks. They make an update, and it's like, wow, it's better than ever. They actually made a really great update this last week. We'll talk about that maybe in a little bit. My days go like that too, where I have one day where I'm getting sales like mad, and then it just drops off and then nothing. Yeah, that typically is what the slow months look like for me. It's like every day isn't slow. It's just like every other day is slow. It's kind of how it works out. It's like the roller coaster, right? FootJoy polos are 2019 Hall of Famers. Yeah, actually, that's funny. I might have bought I actually have a polo FootJoy to ship out today. I might have bought it in 2019. That thing's so old. I bought it back before it wasn't cool. I set drafts for 40 items so I could relax for days, and I keep sourcing. It's truly curated items. Nice. And we talk a lot about the need. If you have a tool like Nifty that is delisting old stale inventory and relisting it every day, we've talked a lot about the need not to have drafts. It's like, go ahead and push those 40 items up because you're already feeding the algorithm with that with those automation tools. No need to like hold back items in your drafts, and everybody can do what they want with their business. You want to do draft, that's awesome. I'm all for it. But I'll always say, if it's drafted and not published, it can never sell. So I always encourage people, if you have automation tools which are already feeding the algorithm, get your stuff listed because nobody can buy it if it's in a draft. Can you fit any tots in those chest pockets? Jeez. What is that guy even talking about? Nifty just alerted me on one of my listings, didn't relist on eBay. Easy fix. I love that it alerts you. I've used other platforms and you just never know. They just don't alert you. You don't know. It's not listed. It's down. Yeah, it's crazy. In between thrift stores here. First stop was a bust. Boo. One more thrift to hit today, then back to the beach for some salmon fishing. You're living the life. I like it. Catch your full show on replay sometime tonight. I appreciate you popping in, Sea Traveler. Hope you find some, or hope you catch some fish and maybe get some good clothing on the line today too at the thrift store. I also feel like platforms penalize you for going on vacation and putting your stores on pause. Feels like it takes a couple weeks to get back into the swing. Haven't found that to be as true since I've started using Nifty, because I just let Nifty run while I'm gone, and it continues to send offers. It continues to delist and relist. So it keeps that machine going. So it doesn't, I don't get the same dip that I used to. I sold 17 items across platforms from Friday and Saturday. I've been mass listing on days I feel like not listing. Some days going well so far. I like it, Desert Rain. Hello, welcome in. Welcome in. Hey, everybody. We're just shipping out orders. If you're just popping in, we are right in the middle, or right at the start of some eBay orders. We've only shipped one eBay order out, and we've shipped a couple of Whatnot orders. We got Poshmark orders. We got one Mercari order too. Here's a good one. A lot of 2 Hart Schaffner Marks wool dress pants right here. I bought 10 of these at a thrift store for $5 a piece. They were all similar sizes, like 36 by 31, 36 by 32. I thought they were all going to be the same size, but sometimes you get them home and you measure them and they're a little bit different. Most of them were flat front. A couple of them were pleated, so I listed those separately. Anyway, I did a bunch of bundles. This bundle of 2 sold for $44.99, which was my full asking price. So I paid $10 for these 2 pairs. Pretty awesome. Actually, out of those 10 that I bought, which was 10 days ago, 11 days ago now, I've already sold 7 out of the 10. So only 3 left. And I'm already well into the profit on these. So everything else that sells of those 10 will just be pure profit at this point because I've already well paid off that $50 initial buy cost for all 10 of them. So it ended up being a better pickup than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I didn't expect 7 out of the 10 to be out the door in 10 days. It's pretty good. I'd show you the logo from those, but there was just no way to show you since they were all folded up. But you can look up Hart Schaffner marks pretty easy on eBay and get an idea of what they look like. So pretty good. 7 out of 10 already out the door. I wasn't thinking that they would sell that quickly. I went with what Chris said. My sales have increased tenfold after I stopped scheduling drafts. Get them up. They cannot sell if they are not listed. There's not many truths when you talk about the algorithm, right? The algorithm is like, it's like witch magic, black cauldron. People have theories about the algorithm. Nobody really knows what the algorithm absolutely is. Generally speaking, though, we know the algorithm likes activity. That we can all agree on. But we can also all agree, if it ain't listed, there's a 0% chance that item will sell. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, that's just fact truth. There's no witch magic there. I forgot to mention multiple sales of old inventory due to recreates by Nifty. Love it, Josh. Appreciate those. I love those freaking updates. Nick, this dude ever seen Napoleon Dynamite? Freaking heck. I don't think I've actually seen that whole movie besides clips. So no is your answer. I don't think I've actually seen it. Thanks for the suggestion to list drafts. I've been holding to post each day, but I used Nifty and didn't think about it relisting every day. Every day it is doing its automation thing. If I look at mine today, Nifty has already it has already recreated 61 items on eBay. So I'm not going to list 61 items today. There's no way I can feed the algorithm quite as good as Nifty does. That's 61 recreates, and it's only 2:00 in the afternoon. So it'll keep doing that. I've already sent 10 offers through Nifty, which is, again, good for the algorithm. Also, it closes deals, too. But the algorithm likes activity. It likes offers. It likes active offers on items. They'll show up higher in search results if eBay thinks they're in demand. Poshmark has already done 18 offers, and it's done 2,368 shares because it's just constantly sharing as the day goes on. So, and it's done 16 relists already today on Poshmark. Sorry, I logged into my old account. This is Coho. Yeah, I was kind of you were talking like Kobo. I'm looking at Sea Traveler. I was like, that sounds a lot like Coho talk right there. But cool. Now it all makes sense. I was like, I got another salmon fishermen in my life. We also have some local friends here in Asheville that are salmon fishermen. And actually, I think Steve-O's probably out there right now. Yeah, that would make sense that he's out there right now. Any thoughts on Hart Schaffner marked suits? I personally don't like them unless it's plaid or Italian fabric. How about the rest of the chat? I'll answer that question. I mean, it just depends. It just depends. If it is a out of style, dated suit that just doesn't have anything going for it, it might not be a very good pickup. But if it is a very in style, suit. So it's one of those things, like suits and blazers, one of those things you just got to put eyes on them. You got to look at them because the style really matters. So that's my thoughts. But that's true with a lot of sort of mid-tier, low to mid-tier brands. You really got to look at them. I wouldn't be able to, like when people ask me sometimes about things, they're like, hey, I bought a Hart Schaffner Marks suit. It's blue. And would you pay $10 for them? Or how much would you price it for? I'm like, I don't know. I got to look at it. Like suits, especially suits, blazers, like you got to look at them, especially like mid-tier brands, right? There can be such a, it can be a really low sell-through rate item, or it could be something that sells in a week. And it's just based on like the style of the item. Is the auto listing on all plans on Nifty? So if you're asking about auto delisting and relisting, which they refer to as recreates, you would have to have an automation plan for that. So there is a plan that's just automation. That would be, I think that's $35 a month for just the automation and not the cross listing. If you only had one platform and just needed automation, I think that's like $20. Like if you just had eBay and you just wanted automation, like that's only like $20. But go to this link right here. a second. That's going to have like pricing and stuff. And then this next link, if you're like, hey, okay, cool, I'll go try it out. I'll do the free trial. This will get you 15% off your first month and that 7-day free trial if you tap that link just below it. But I gave you specifically like the pricing so you can look at the plans and see what makes the most sense for you. If you have follow-up questions, let me know. Figured that was probably more helpful than me trying to like explain it. I'll give you like the exact source and you can go check it out. 16 relists on Poshmark. I said it's a 6 because they would be suspended for too many relists. Yep, that's changed. They knocked that off. It was like January the 24th or something like that. They ended that whole thing. So you can crank that up if you want to. Late to the party. Hope you had a great week. I saw your video of the Kentucky Derby Vineyard Vines pants. And since then I've found 2 within a week. No kidding. That's the only time I ever found one of those. And you found 2 of them within a week. That's pretty cool. One being cotton and one being linen. Yeah, my pair was linen. I still have them listed. I listed them pretty high though. My suit finds are going to be on a hold for a while. My thrift store got a big influx of super old random branded suits and sport coats. They keep sitting, but nobody wants them. That sucks. They kind of clogged up the pipeline. I hate that. That's a bummer. The suits and blazers picking for me locally has not been as good lately. A couple of the stores have just really small, like, it's like a quarter of the rack. And it's the same sort of situation as you're talking about. Like they have the same suits and blazers that have been hanging there for months, and it's just kind of clogging up the whole sitch. So it's been a little bit slower for me, but luckily I travel all over the place and thrift all over the place. So I'm still finding some, but it has definitely been slimmer picking for me lately. I'm hoping that they start stocking more of that stuff once we get into some cooler weather. I think their thought process is like, nobody's going to buy these in the middle of the summer, so we won't put them out. Even though that doesn't make any sense because I sell a ton of suits and blazers in the summer, warmer months, because that's when people are going to weddings and events and stuff like that. So anyway, next up is an awesome sale right here. We got a vintage Y2K silver tab Levi's. You can see that right there. There's a whole bunch of different silver tab tags, and we won't be able to see the silver tab itself just the way these are folded. Oh, you can see them. Yep. There's a little silver tab on them. These sold on a nifty best offer, $41.38. So again, this is one of those times where the buyer, Edward, came in and watched this item on eBay. He didn't buy it, so 10 minutes later, Nifty sent that 10% off offer, closed the deal. These are going to Orlando, Florida. So it's going to University Boulevard. So these are going to, that's going to be UCF campus. If these are, well, maybe not. Let's see. I'm going to Google this address. It is an apartment too, which makes it more likely that this is going to like student housing or something for UCF. Let me see here. I almost transferred to UCF at one time in my life when I was a little kiddo. Okay, so how, oh yeah, 100%. There's like a bunch of stuff right around it that says like Hampton Inn and Suites, Orlando UCF area, Fairfield UCF area, Doubletree East UCF area. So, oh yeah, here's the UCF. It's like, this is probably a mile from the UCF campus. And this is, looks like a student housing complex. Yep, so that's kind of funny. Thank you for your $41.38. That would have been a lot of money for me when I was in college to spend like 40 something bucks for a pair of jeans. I'm glad this person bought them. Out the door, $41.38. I paid $5 at the thrift store for those. That's a great sale right there. The jeans are picking up. We actually have a fair amount of jeans going out the door today. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're having a good start to the week. Happy Monday. You've joined us for our weekly live glimpse into this reselling business. Been running this business for 8 years now. 2018 is when I got started out in Denver, Colorado, and we're still doing it here. It's just full-time now. It used to be a side hustle back then. Next up, great sale. Full price sale, Canali dress pants, $48.99. Men's size 37 by 32. These are going to Vegas. These are going to Vegas. So Canali, great Italian brands. Love picking up their blazers. Love picking up their suits, especially. You got some pants going out the door, $48.99. I paid $5 at a thrift store. I haven't been telling you how fast these sales have been going out the door, so I'll try to do a better job at that. If you have questions, drop them in the chat. I am here for it. These took 44 days to sell, so a month and a half to sell. $5 into $48.99, and I'm going to tell you exactly what eBay paid me out. So my exact profits on this after shipping fees. So eBay's going to pay me out $36.50. That's after shipping label, after my fees that I have to pay eBay. So they pay me $36.50. I paid $5. I made $31.50 on this pair of Canali dress pants. If I priced them more aggressively, it probably would have sold a good bit faster too, but I'm fine with sitting on them for 45 days so I can get a $31 profit on this. This is going to Vegas. Thank you to Robert in Vegas. Edward's in the house. What's up, Edward? Glad to hear that. Several pairs of Levi's to list. Happy Monday, Chris, and all the followers. Yeah. I'll typically, last year I did a challenge starting on September 1st where I was like, I want to sell 90 pairs of Levi's in 90 days. And I ended up selling like 87, I think it was, in 90 days. Maybe it was 86. Like, it was very, very close. So yeah, I don't know how I'll do this year. I haven't been finding Levi's with the same frequency as I did last year. So I don't know if I'll keep that pace, but so that's one a day basically during like the fall. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know if I'm going to start that challenge again or not. I just don't have as many Levi's as I did last year. This is going to Durrell, Florida. Brand new with tags. Nike Jordan shirt right here with the AJ1 sneaker patch on the front. I had a whole slew of these, and I still have some of these left. This sold for $21.99. This is a retail arbitrage pickup back from January, and I've sold a bunch of these already. This is going to Durrell, Florida, and based on the address, it is going to a reshipper. So this is going to like a freight forwarder. So somebody bought this overseas and they used a service to buy it here locally in the US, and they're going to ship it overseas to the customer. Very, very common situation. I've never had a single issue with one of these companies. And typically that's why the two addresses that I ship more to than any other two cities in the US are Miami and Durrell. Durrell is like right near the airport there. So but when I see a Miami address or a Durrell address, chances are that's probably going to a reshipper. And this one, just based on it's a business address with a suite number, and they put like a little like code number in there too. So I know that's the order number for that customer that they have on the address too. So pretty clear when it's happening. I have no concerns or worries about it whatsoever. I'm just pointing it out. But Durrell, Florida and Miami, Florida are the two addresses I ship by far more than anywhere else. You would think it'd be like New York City, right? The biggest city, but that is not the case. It is Miami and Durrell because these things are going overseas. Next up is another one of those. Never mind. Next up is a Brooks Brothers shirt. This one was new with tags. We can see the retail is $89.50, but the thrift store had put like a small little hole in the back, which I had to call out in the listing. So I called it out in the listing title, the description, and a close-up photo with a pen just pointing right at the flaw right there. So I had to price this one down a little bit. I accepted an offer of $23.98 on this. So I still made money. I paid $5 for it and sold for $23.98. If it didn't have that flaw, probably would have sold this, I don't know, somewhere in the mid-30s or something like that. So anyway, 5 into 24, which is pretty much what my business is. Most of the stuff I buy and sell is I buy it for 5, sell it for somewhere around 25. Of course, we have some that go for more than that, like those Canali pants, like those Levi's, silver tabs. I mean, it's not like I only pick up those items, but you know what I mean. The core of my business, the backbone, the foundation, whatever term you want to use, is 5 into 25. That's this right here. And that was a thrift store pickup that was new with tags, which is always interesting. Sold another one of these ping hats. This one sold on a best offer of $20. The other one sold for full price, $23.98. I think I bought like 6 of these. This was like retail clearance that I picked up back in January. Totally forgot about this bag. It was in like the corner of my closet, and I found it last month. I was like, oops, I should have listed these golf hats a few months ago. But hey, it is what it is. We're getting them out the door now. So 2 of them going out the door today. This one's going to Lancaster, New York. These are going in 8x6x6 box. This is the same exact box I used to ship out 3 bags of coffee to one customer. It perfectly fits 3 bags. So that's why I always have these in stock. I think I pay like 60 cents a piece for these boxes is what my price is. These are going to James in Lancaster. Chris, the Weddington Road store is always picked. I'm surprised you're able to walk down that toy aisle to point out Goodwill of the South Piedmont. There's always young moms shopping toys in that aisle, and you can't get through that one. That's funny. I was in your neck of the woods, eh? I don't think I'd ever been to that store before, and if I have, it's been a few years. I don't know how, because I've thrifted that area a number of times. I guess for whatever reason, I just didn't stop there. There's always a chance that maybe I don't remember it too. If it wasn't on film, then I might not remember it. But what did I get at that store? Like 2, 3 things? It was picked over, but we met a really nice viewer at that store, so that was fun. It's always fun to bump into folks. Next up is a Polo Ralph Lauren. Nothing fancy here. This is the Ralph Lauren Blake, and Blake is a relaxed fit. I make it really, really clear, even in the title, that this is relaxed fit, because you'll get returns on these. If you just call this a men's size medium, you'll get returns on Blake, because unless you really spell out that this is relaxed fit or oversized fit. That's an important thing to do, because this measures 26 pit to pit, whereas a medium is going to measure more like 23 to 24 pit to pit. So not calling this out as relaxed or oversized fit can often result in a return. 26 is more like an XL, sometimes like a large or an extra large in Polo Ralph Lauren. So I also put in the item title, I put fits L to XL to really like clearly spell out that this is not your typical medium. And I think that's really important with the Blakes, because if your customer doesn't know that the Blake is oversized, if they're just looking to buy a Polo Ralph Lauren shirt, they could be disappointed, and it could fit them like a blanket, you know? So that's a little tip I do use with the Blake model. Keywords like relaxed fit, oversized, or just calling out what size it also, what size it fits are all good strategies for that. So this sold for $19.99, which is my full asking price. It's a short sleeve shirt, little gingham print right there. So I paid $5, sold for $20. My profit on this is probably right about $10. I'll probably sell like 2,000 items this year. They're going to like give me profit between say $9 and $13. I'll probably sell like 2,000 items like that. So that stuff, when you say it adds up, it really does add up. If it's, say that's an average of, we'll call it $11 an item. I sell 2,000 of those, right? That's $21,000 right there. Yeah, is that math right? 1,000. Yeah, no, 2,200 or 22,000. So obviously I sell other things too, but I'm not going to turn my back on $22,000 worth of profit either. Next up is a retail arbitrage pickup. This is actually online arbitrage. So online arbitrage is when you go to a retailer online and buy the item, have it shipped to your front door, and then sell it on eBay and Poshmark. So this is a pair of diesel jeans. These are the Safato. Yeah, these are the Safato model, which is a model that has historically sold pretty well for me. These ones did sit around for a little while, but I bought like 40 pairs of these. And I mean, I'm already in the profit on these. I think I have a few of them still kind of hanging out. That's what happens oftentimes when I buy like bulk of items, like retail like this, is, you know, some of them sell really quick. Some of them sell with medium speed, right? And then you always just get a few that kind of hang out and collect dust, so to speak. But this one did sell for full asking price, $113.99. I think I paid like $50 or $60 per pair for these. But if you do the math, after fees and shipping on this, it's a lot to pay for inventory, like 50 or 60 bucks, but you also make a lot of profit. So my payout on this is $86.73. So let's just say I paid 60. We'll use that number conservatively. So that means I made $26 in profit on this. I don't mind that at all, especially because this was a multi-quantity listing. So I think I had maybe 10 pairs that were this exact size, 34 by 32. So one listing, one round of measurements, and set the quantity to 10. And then every time one sells, I make 26 bucks. You know, so that's $260 for listing one item, and then taking a minute to ship each one when the order comes in. So I don't mind that, even though I had to pay a lot of money for these. I know it's a good, consistent seller. You know, it's an investment in future profits for my business. So I probably bought these like in the spring on like a spring clearance, and then, you know, sold probably a lot of them in that fall, right? But I always end up stuck with a few of them unless you jack the price down. I just chose not to jack the price down, and I figured, well, they'll eventually sell. And they did. And they did. Welcome in, everybody. Good to have you. Hope you're having a good start to your week. Love hearing about your sales. If you haven't told me how your weekend was, I want to hear about it down below in the chat. I'm going to keep shipping over here. And that's that. Next up is a new with tags IB Cool. This was a retail arbitrage pickup. So in store on the clearance rack. I don't remember how much I paid for this, but IB Cool is a decent golf brand. This sold for a nifty best offer, $40.49. What's that, our third nifty offer going out the door already? And I actually see at least one more, two more, three more. At least three more just from eBay, and we'll have some Poshmark ones too. So that's 6 nifty best offers in the last 48 hours just on eBay alone. It's a big deal. That's a big deal. So $40.49 on this IB Cool. I'm sorry, I just don't remember how much I paid for this. This is a women's quarter zip. It's very typical with outdoor brands and with like golf brands that the men's versions of the same items sell for a little bit more than the women's. That's just the reality of things. I find that to be true with golf brands and outdoor brands when they're both like men's and women's. So that IB Cool, if that was a men's quarter zip, probably a quicker sale, probably for a few extra bucks. That's just the reality of things. I didn't make it that way. I don't necessarily want it to be that way either. That's what I've observed. Next up is a brand called Public Rec. This, I don't know if you can see that little, kind of tricky to spot when they're on the racks because it's very, you know, it's like the same color, little P on there. I don't know if I can show you the logo here. I'm not going to be able to show you the other logo, but Public Rec is the brand right here. Used to be a better seller, kind of gone down in sell-through rate, kind of gone down in sale price. And interestingly, Public Rec got acquired by the brand Noble. So they're still selling these under the Public Rec name, but they're calling them like Noble Public Rec, I think. Let me just see what the website says now. And I don't know if like how that'll transition over time, if they'll drop the Public Rec name. Yeah, so right now it looks like they're calling it Noble X Public Rec. I'll share my screen here. Check this out. So this is the Noble website right here. So Noble X Public Rec. And they're still calling them like their deal maker, game changer. Looks like some Noble polos mixed in here. There's the deal breaker. Wonder if I click on the listing, what it will call it. That's interesting. Okay, so maybe are they putting the P logo on them still? No, on the newer ones, look, that's the Noble logo on them. So I guess they are kind of parting with the public rec name. It seems like they're transitioning it out. I bet you they still had like a whole bunch of public rec branded ones in stock. So it's probably they're just going to transition it as they kind of the old ones go away. That's my guess. I don't have any inside scoop on it, but if you're interested, Noble now owns public rec. But if you like this stuff, it doesn't seem like it's going away, at least the pants anyway. This is going to Illinois, Burbank, Illinois. It's actually going to a record store. That's kind of interesting. Somebody just getting their pants shipped to their work address, or maybe they own the shop. I don't know. Next up, Collars & Co. If you've been watching these lives, you've seen me sell these Collars & Co. over and over. I bought like 80 or 90 of these off of Whatnot back in February, was it? And they've been selling off $37.78. I think I paid about $21 on average a piece for these. Some of them were multi-quantity. Makes it easier to list them. Not high margin on these. I didn't do as well on this buy as I would have liked to, but I knew I was taking some risk with it because I was buying them kind of out of season, and I was like, well, the sell-through rate's not great, and the price is falling a little bit, but I'm like, maybe it'll pick up as we get into the warmer weather. Like maybe the sell-through rates and the price will bump up. It probably did a little bit, but this brand has slumped a little bit in terms of resale value and sell-through rate. That's what happens. Next up is another hat. We got a Tommy Bahama hat right here. I think it's this one. This has got some dust on it. I'll probably try to get some of this dust from sitting there. This might be loud. I don't know how loud it will come through on your end, but using my heat gun is like a blow dryer. Still has a little dust on it. We'll just use some packing tape. That's the last one of this particular model. Good as new. Tommy Bahama hat. I paid $4 a piece for these, and a lot of them were multi-quantity, and we can see that one is now sold out. This sold for $17.99. I've kind of lowered the price a little bit, so I sold some of these more at like the $22 to $23 price range. But as they sat, I've kind of brought the price down a little bit just to keep them moving. But paid $4 a piece, and again, so easy to list, and all of them were multi-quantity, which means I just got to take one round of photos, set that quantity to whatever it was, 6, 8, 10. Some of them I had like 12 of, and just let them sell off. And at a $4 buy cost for brand new with tags, I can't really argue with that. So this is going to go in another one of these 8x6x6 boxes. 3 hats in one day is a lot for me. I like it. So what I would love to hear from the chat, what was your best sale of the weekend? We haven't done something like that in a little while. What was your best sale this weekend? And it doesn't have to be your most profitable one, but the one that, your favorite sale, we'll call it that. What was your favorite sale over the weekend? I don't know if we've got to mine yet. We haven't got to mine yet, actually. It'll probably be my biggest profit item and my favorite sale too. It is a classic Chris at Peak style item. Really good sale, but we get some good, I mean, we get a lot of good ones. We've already shipped out some good stuff, but we get some great bundles coming your way too. You know, I like my bundles. That's 3 hats on the day. Let's go. This is kind of a cool shirt. I don't typically pick up most Vineyard Vine shirts. I'm selective. You can probably see why I bought this one. It's got a nice all over print and it's got like sailboats. See that? Like yachts and I don't know, all different boats. $80 Levi's, nice piece of scrap. I love that. What model? Those must have been vintage. Tell us more about those. So this is the classic fit Murray shirt, cotton and spandex. If this was just like plaid or striped or even solid color, I'm not picking this up for $5. And I probably shouldn't have picked this one up either because it had a stain on it. So I listed it with the stain and I took an offer of $13. But a pattern like this I find can still sell, like something that's like unique and different and you won't have a ton of competition on it. But again, it had a spot, like a small spot right on the front. So I just called it out in the item title and the description. Then I did a close-up photo with a pointer pointing right at that little flaw. Got an offer for $13. See ya. So not getting rich off this, but I didn't lose money off of it either. And you're going to have that happen. You're going to get stuff home from the thrift store. It's going to have a flaw, and you're going to have to find a way to get rid of that item. And I did. That one's gone. Peter Millar Essex Vest. Good one. That's a great sale. I love finding those. What'd you get on that? Like something like 70-ish bucks on it. New tag Dickies shorts for just under 20 to a repeat buyer. I don't get many repeat buyers, so I appreciate the ones I have. That's cool. I love getting the repeat buyers too. I had one this weekend. It doesn't show me on this bulk shipping screen, so I forget which item it was, but it shows it like when I'm shipping, but it doesn't show it like after it prints out the label, like which of these people was my repeat. But I had a repeat buyer too, so that's kind of cool. We both had one. Favorite weekend sale was a 1960s John Wheat gray teal Glen Plaid 3-piece suit. Let's go. Mad Men style. Sold it for $110. Excellent vintage condition. Found it in the estate sale. That's a really cool sale, JT. That's a really good one. I love that. Thank you for sharing. I wish I could see that piece. That just sounds awesome. I got 6 Hart rechargeable battery packs from a friend for free and sold 4 already for $56.99 each. Let's go. You can't beat that. Sold a Brooks Brothers 3-ply Italian cashmere sweater. Nice. How much did you get for that sweater? That sounds cool. 501 black, made in the USA. Awesome sale. $80 on those. Love it. New Skechers. Bought a bunch on Whatnot. Great sellers. Yeah. So I love the idea of selling Skechers because Skechers is that's like a middle America brand, just like a down the middle brand. Everybody knows what Skechers are. A ton of people wear them. People just like them. So those can be sleepy good sellers, brands like that. A lot of people think like, oh, it's too common, whatever. Sell really well. I remember back in the day when I started reselling, like 2018, 2019, 2020, maybe even into 2021, those Skechers shape ups was like a really good seller. They got good money and they sold really quickly. I love finding those. But a big problem with those is a lot of them would have dry rot. So you really had to check those soles so closely. But that was like one of my favorite bolos when I was young in this business. I wasn't young, but I was young in this business, and I love finding the shape ups. You wouldn't think that those would be a good seller, but they were. I think they probably aren't as good as a seller as they once were. Smart Wool sweater made $25 profit. I like it. Smart Wool is one of my favorite finds. $65. I'm going to trace this back to the Peter Millar Essex vest. See, it was pretty spot on. 65. Nice. Favorite sale was a vintage Patagonia Cinchilla. 1, it's sold on Nifty, 10% off auto offer. Boom, Josh, it's working. 2, I picked it up at the bins for $2. Awesome sale. They're right there. This next one is not something I typically pick up. I do buy and sell a lot of Wrangler. This is usually not on my buy list. This is a Riggs workwear. It's a men's size 44 by 30. I picked them up because these are the carpenter style. And like you can see that like little reinforced brown edge to these. So I don't typically pick them up. This one sat a while. I lowered the price to $19.98 and I got the sale, the full price sale, but it was after I lowered the price. But anyway, $19.98 on these. I paid $5. I typically don't pick these up, but I don't know why I picked these ones up. I don't remember the moment. Like I said, they sat for a little while. So maybe it was the size that made me pick them up. Maybe I got them cheaper than $5 or something. I don't know. I don't know what made me pick these up. But whatever. I paid $5. They sold for $20. Made $10 profit. These are going to Mesa, Arizona. This is one of those items where it's like, it's a low sell-through rate item, and they're typically got to sell in the teens. So when you list a low sell-through rate item and you price it at like higher than the average sale price, you're probably going to have to wait on that item, even if you have like really good photos and all that stuff, or you can just get lucky sometimes. So that's a killer combo. You might want to look at your store right now. If you have items that are low sell-through rate, like let's call it below 40% sell-through rate, and you're priced above the average sale price, probably going to be sitting on that item for a long time, kind of like I was with these. But they sold. I made my money. Part of the game. Not everything sells fast. Next up is Tommy Bahama Boracay straight leg jeans. So told you the jeans are picking up. We got back-to-back jeans, 3 in a row. Tommy Bahama. Mediocre sell-through rate on these. These sold for $24.29 on a nifty best offer. I picked these up in Richmond. No. Which was it? Richmond? No, it was the Roanoke. I picked them up in Roanoke. That was the trip that I picked these up on. Tommy Bahama. I paid. I forget if I paid $5 or $6 for these up there, but they sold for $24.29 on the nifty auto offer. I actually just listed a pair of these on Saturday. Another pair. Hopefully those go out the door fairly quickly too. So $24.29. We'll just say I paid $6. I don't remember how much the jeans were up there. $5 or $6. Got another pair of jeans right after this. This is a good sign for the fall. Love hearing about y'all's good sales here. This is fun. Your favorite sale of the weekend. So favorite sale was new wid tag Carhartt flame resistant cargo pants, sold for $60. Paid $8. Where'd you find those for $8? At a thrift, new wid tags? That's sick. Giorgio Armani blazers I found on Saturday, sold 2 hours after posting, $68 profit. Let's go, Mark. That's a good sale. Mossman, $70 new wid tag smart wool classic thermal merino base layer women's leggings. It was a favorite because I had a customer inform me I had no chance getting my full asking price after rejecting their $50 offer. Doesn't that feel good? Doesn't that feel good when people tell you what's up and then they're wrong and you are right? That always feels good. These are going to, that's better than money sometimes, although the money is really good too. Sounds like you made some great profit on those. So my first Turnbull and Asser shirt, credit to K-Way. Nice. I don't know that I've ever found that brand. I'm trying to think. I don't know that I've ever found it. Let me see if I have one in inventory. Nope. I don't think that. If I sold it, I would have made a post, which means I would have remembered it. So I don't think I've ever actually picked it up. Never seen it. Never come across it. I sold a pair of Adidas on nifty auto offer and had been sitting in for almost a year. Love that, Christine. It's like, that just feels good. Not a sale yet, but I also picked up a vintage polo fireman's jacket this week. I saw a $400 recent cop, a fireman's jacket. That's sick. That's really cool. Sold a lot of jeans and pants lately. A few caps too. Maybe we're on the same page. Next up is that third in a row pair of jeans. We got a bunch of pants going out too on top of jeans. Pair of Doer jeans right here. I like finding this brand. They don't sell quite like they used to even like a year ago. I feel like they've come down a little bit, but $34.99. This is the L2X Relaxed Taper Fit, 38 by 32. I feel like these might have taken a while to sell. Let's take a look. 96 days, $34.99. This used to be a $40 seller and a quick seller at that. Now it's 96 days for $34.99. But I'll take it. I paid $6 for these jeans, so I am very fine with that outcome. But they're just not they're not like that screaming bolo that they were maybe even like a year ago. I feel like they were a better seller. Carhartts were at a garage sale. Sick. Did you increase your recreate on Poshmark and Nifty? I did. I'll try to share a screenshot of the listing in the comments after the live stream if it lets me. I like it. I hope so. Just so the vintage Navy Seals Peacoat well on here. $99. Let's go. Vintage Navy Seals Peacoat. That's really cool. What a cool item. Not a big profit, but sold a German death metal band t-shirt that I picked up at a Salvation Army in Juneau, Alaska for $5, sold for $27. Very cool. That is a cool sale. A German death metal band. Oh my God. Did you listen to like one of their songs when you were listing it? Did you check them out? Were you curious? I don't know if I would be that curious personally. I'd be good with not listening to it. It's a cool sale though. These doers are going to Matthews in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Sold a Brioni tie for $50, paid $1. I love that. Really cool sale. Thanks for sharing, Rachel. Been a seller since 2018. Sold my first item that had to get authenticated. Dolce & Gabbana t-shirt. Got half off for $4. Sold for $2.50. Jeez Louise. Great sale. That's awesome. Nice sale. I appreciate you sharing that, Tyler. That's cool. A very long time before reselling, I listed a new Playboy blanket. I priced it at $100. People had messages on the listing saying it wouldn't sell for more than $15, sold for $100. Yeah, don't you love that? I wish there was a way that you could like share to all those people. I mean, if they watch the item, they got a notification that it's sold, but they probably don't get a notification. Like it probably doesn't tell them what it sold for, but at least they still got that notification if they watched it. You know. Feels good to be right? It's as good as money. But we'll take both, the money and that. This chubby shirt, this is another nifty best offer. This brand, when I first started reselling in 2018, this was a really hot brand. It's not as hot as it once was. There's still some items that sell from Chubbies. The pants and shorts seem to still do better, but the shirts are not what they used to be. Really cool pattern on this shirt. Picked it up retail clearance. I forget how much I paid for it, but it sold $28.78 on the nifty best offer. I mean, it's a really cool pattern on this and stuff too. But you know, Chubbies, they were hot. Their distribution went way up. You know, their shirts go into a whole bunch more stores all across the country. People buy them up, and now you just have a whole bunch of inventory out there. You know, so the supply is up. People still like wearing Chubbies. It's just the supply got so high, and you know, it's kind of peaked as a brand. And you can buy it everywhere. You can usually find it clearance, like I did. So that's part of the game. Usually, it's not a demand issue when these like hot brands cool off. It's usually more the supply side. There's just so much of it out there now. So then, if there's a ton of it listed on eBay and there's a ton of them not selling, everybody ultimately lowers their price so you get the sale. So that's what deflates the market. Next up is going to Manchester, Connecticut. And this is a pair of Duluth Trading Flex Fire Hose Relaxed Cargo Work Pants. Love finding these. I always seem to find these in big sizes too. This is a 48 by 28, sold for full asking price, $26.99 on these. This is an item that's just a staple in my store. Duluth pants, really good seller, especially if you get sort of any combination of like Flex Fire Hose, Duluth Flex. What is the dry on the fly hiking pants are really good too. And they always will have like, usually will have like a model name on the inside of the waistband. So it's not, they're easy to spot. So $26.99. I spent $5 at a thrift store. I just listed a pair of these this morning. But they were fleece lined too. So it was like Duluth Trading fleece lined flex fire hose cargos. Just listed them. Love picking these up. 5 into $26.99. Solid profit there. I'll tell you exactly what the profit is on this item. So eBay's going to pay me out $24, and does that make sense? Sold for 26. Oh, the shipping was really cheap, so I made a few dollars on the shipping. I charged $9.95 for the shipping, and the shipping label only cost me $6.99. So I made $3 on the shipping label. So eBay is going to pay me out $24.86, and I paid $5 for these pants. So I'm making $19 and change on these. So that's nice. But really, that kind of, sometimes you make $1 or $2 on shipping. Sometimes you lose $1 or $2. It usually comes out in the wash. So, but anyway, $19 on this one in profit. And how long were these in the store? These were in the store for 44 days, so a month and a half. So that's a good outcome, especially when you pick up a heavy, these shipped at a 3-pound rate. So like a heavy pair of cargo, canvas cargo pants, right? You pick them up in the middle of the summer and you're still able to sell them in the summer in only 44 days. That's pretty good. And we'll see the sell-through rate on those crank up as the temperature cranks down. Next up is an Eddie Bauer. Here's another item. It's not really a fall item. Like people buy these, like you hike in the summertime and you wear a fleece like this, like a little quarter zip fleece. This is a Eddie Bauer First Descent. You can tell it's First Descent. See that little blue A on the tag right there on the inside? That's the First Descent logo. This is Eddie Bauer's good like hiking line. And it also says First Descent like on the sleeve on this model too. This one's called the Free Heat. Pretty much anything from First Descent is worth you at least looking the item up. I can't think of an example of First Descent that I don't pick up. The pants are really good. The shorts are pretty good. The Guide Pro pants from First Descent are great. Those sell for like $30 to $35. Just listed a pair this weekend, actually. But this sold for $27.99. Nice, like lightweight fleece here from First Descent. This is going to Logan in Colorado Springs, so it's getting ready for a hike, maybe. So $5 I paid for this. It sold for $27.99. So probably made somewhere around $16 profit on this. I don't feel like this was a quick sale though. 135 days. What's that? 4 months? 4.5 months? Not fast, but I'm okay with it. That's the business. Some stuff's going to move quick. Some stuff's going to take a little longer, and that's okay. Our next one sold in 11 days though, so that makes up for it. So this is, the next one sold in 12 days. I was looking at the wrong thing. So a lot of 2. So I just picked these up retail clearance. These are J. Crew, brand new with tags, and 2 pairs, same size, 38 by 32, same size, same model, brand new with tags. I paid $13 a piece, so I paid $26 total. These sold on a best offer of $72. And actually, this was a nifty best offer of $72. I had these listed for $79.99. So the 10% off offer brought them down to exactly $72. So these are going to Frisco, Texas. Nice profit here. Sure, I paid up a little bit, $13 a pop, but knowing that they're going to sell for $36 a pop, I'm okay with that. After fees and shipping, eBay's paying me out $62.15, and I paid $26 total. So my profit is going to be $36 on these. So not bad. And they sold in 12 days. You know I love a good bundle. These are the J. Crew Flex Slim pants. So they're like a polyester pant, like lightweight, moisture wicking type of pant. And that's not the last bundle of pants going out the door. Got another one right after this. So this is going to Dorian in Frisco, Texas. Got a lot of shipping still to do. We're just wrapping up eBay. We got a ton of Poshmark. It was a really good Poshmark weekend, y'all. What did I miss here? Used your code and got nifty over the weekend. I rarely used Poshmark, mostly Depop and eBay, but had 9 sales. Game changer for sure. You had 9 sales on Poshmark just since using that nifty code over the weekend. That's sick. Like that more than paid for your subscription for the whole month. Maybe a couple months are paid for just from the profits from those 9 sales, I would imagine, right? That's awesome. I always tell people, look, if you average $15 per sale in terms of profit, like if you profit $15 per item on average, all you need to sell is what? 4? You need to sell 5 things, and the profit from those 5 things already paid for nifty for the whole month. So if you can get 5 additional sales because you either cross-listed to another platform and you got sales on the other platform, or the automation tools helped you sell an older item, or it helped you sell an item quick on the auto offer thing, all it takes is 5 sales and you paid for your entire month. Usually my entire month is paid for in the first day, like August 1st. I paid for my entire month subscription in just the extra profits from sales that Nifty gave to me. So you're already seeing that, and that's freaking awesome. That makes me very, very happy that you're getting that you got an early W. Wrangler rigs always sell fast for me, around 20 to 25. Really like finding them. Also, favorite sell was a Tommy Bahama shirt that's been listed for over a year. Glad to get it out. That feels good getting them out of there. I like it. Thanks for sharing. Is there a best practice, certain percentage that you should reinvest back into your inventory? I don't think there's a best practice, no, because there's so many different business models. I mean, if you ask that same question to retailers, if you ask that to Macy's and you ask it to Kohl's, you'll probably get 2 very different answers, because they have, even though they both sell clothing, right? They have different models. So no, I don't think that there's a certain percentage that you should reinvest back into your inventory. I would say invest as much as you possibly can. That would be my thing. I built my business to the point where I don't have a monthly spending limit. I could go out and spend $20,000 on inventory this month. I won't. I don't know that I've spent 20 before, but if I'm finding inventory that's good for my business and it's going to resell and make me profit, I'm going to take advantage of it, right? Because there's like a finite amount of that stuff I can find at any given time. So I'm going to spend as much money as I possibly can. But I've also built up a business bank account, right, where I can go do that. I also have enough cash flow every month that even if I spent 20 grand this month, I won't do 20 grand in sales this month. I won't have that kind of cash flow. But if I went out and spent 10 grand on new inventory, I know that old inventory that's already listed is going to probably get me 14 grand or this month in terms of sales. So that's what I'm on pace for right now. So I can eat up that, whatever my new buy cost is on items, I can eat that up with sales of previous stuff. So I don't know that there's a percentage. I don't know that you'd ever come up with that number. For me, if there was an opportunity to buy 20 grand worth of stuff this month, I know it's going to be profitable stuff, I'm buying it. If it could be 40 grand, I'm buying it. But that's the benefit of building up your business and not, living beyond your means, so to speak, and building up your business bank account. It allows you to be aggressive. I also buy stuff on a business credit card. So, the stuff that I buy today, I actually won't have to pay. I just paid my business credit card 2 days ago. So I won't have to pay for those items for 58 days, anything that I bought today, right? So I'm going to do 20 grand in sales in the next 58 days so I'm going to have that cash flow coming in order to pay off a big sale right now too. So I could drop 20 grand today, and literally I would not feel the pain for that until 58 days from now. And if I listed a whole bunch of that stuff and some of it sold, I'm already going to get some cash flow from the new items, never mind all the 1,400 items that I already have listed. You have a video that shows how you use a spreadsheet, use the spreadsheet you use, and also Nifty. I found it difficult to use the spreadsheet. I had to take all my sales and copy them over to the sold sheet. I don't, but that spreadsheet, there's a bunch of videos from Jason Hayes himself, like YouTube videos and whatever, showing exactly how he uses the spreadsheet. I don't have any videos on it, no. My question to you is, do you need a spreadsheet if you have Nifty? Because Nifty has all the built-in, the tool, your analytics tools, right? Like all your sales data and all that stuff. Do you need a spreadsheet in addition to it? I do, because I also sell on platforms that aren't Nifty. I sell on Amazon, I sell on chrisatpeak.com, and I generate revenue from social media and from sponsorships and stuff. So I need to have something that's outside of Nifty, because I bring in income from things that are outside of Nifty, if that makes sense. But you might not need to. Do you pay to promote on eBay? If so, what percent? I go for 6. I do. I vary the rates between 2 and 6% is pretty typical for me. 2 and 7%. But yeah, I highly recommend promoting if folks aren't promoting clothing. It's just a very competitive market. How are you? Just another reseller. Good to see you in the live. How many items do you have in your store on average? 1,400. Hopefully you can understand my question. Yeah, I understood your question and answered it. Sold these for $80, paid $6 at a Goodwill. ASIO gear, men's hunting pants, large brown stretch zipper, pockets embroidered. Sold for $80, paid $6. Nice, Scott. Thanks for sharing that. That's a nice W. I love it. That is what I'm using now, but didn't know if you needed the spreadsheet still. Okay, that makes sense. I don't think I need it yet. You might not. And I always tell people wrap with one important thing. I'm not going to give anybody any tax advice because I'm not a tax professional. I am not qualified to give tax advice. But what I encourage everybody to do is have a quick little powwow with whoever prepares your taxes for you, whether it's a CPA or some kind of bookkeeper or whatever. Whoever's doing your taxes for you, it's good to have a powwow with them during the middle of the year to make sure that what you're doing to collect, data is going to be what that person's looking for, right? So you might want to ask them hey, what is the deliverable that you want me to give you to prepare the taxes? What's that going to look like? What form or format do you want that in? And then just make sure that you have that now, instead of trying to figure that out during tax season, when it's tougher to get a powwow with your tax person because every tax person is buried, at the beginning of the year, right? January through April, they're buried. You can't get a conversation with them. They're short with you. They respond slowly, whatever. They're good people, but that's just the nature of their business. They get just overwhelmed that time of year. Every year, every accountant ever is that way. Now's a great time to go have a little powwow with them and make sure that you're doing things right. Cool. You're welcome. I really appreciate your channel. How you go around to different Goodwills? I live in Sumter, South Carolina. Oh, you're not far at all. And the Goodwill here is not too bad, but it's nice to know what the other Goodwills in South Carolina. For me, I appreciate you watching the channel. And for me, it's just fun to get to all different places, not just to go to their Goodwills and share that with you, but I like traveling. I like eating. I like seeing these historic places and all these different places. So we spent a lot of time in the Southeast and visited a lot of places that I always say I want to go to, but now that I have the Travel to Thrift series, it's like we're turning all these oh yeah, someday we'll go there. We're turning someday we'll go there into let's do that next week or let's do that next month, which has been really fun. So, but I appreciate the positive vibe. I shared your channel with other people. I highly recommend. Oh, well, thank you. That's really kind of you. And I appreciate your comments. I've seen your comments coming in since I think you're a recently new subscriber. So I appreciate you jumping in and engaging and sharing and all that stuff. That means a lot to me. Next up is a FootJoy golf polo. This is one that I picked up a few years ago, before FootJoy wasn't cool. Grabbed it for $5. This one finally sold for $13. FootJoy used to be just a great bread and butter brand that would sell in the low 20s pretty consistently. But golf fashion is a thing. Anybody who tells you, any man in your life tells you, oh, I don't care about fashion. Whatever. Golf fashion, every dude who golfs wants the new hot brand or whatever. And every year there's a few new hot brands. Rowback's really hot right now. And whenever there's a new hot brand, that means some old hot brand has to sort of, they have to suffer because the people aren't buying those. They're not as cool anymore. Are people still buying FootJoy? Absolutely, but they're just not buying them like they did 4 years ago. Used to be a great bread and butter brand. So took an offer of $13 on this one. It's funny because these used to consistently sell 20, 22. Nice ones you can get 25, but I still pick up some FootJoy. I sold a pair of pants earlier today. The pants are still pretty good. Certain shoes from FootJoy can still be really good, like really modern ones. Some of the windbreaker pullovers, those sorts of things can be good too. But the golf polos, tough game these days. So got this one out the door for $13. Sat around for a couple years. Part of the game. Next up is a lot of 3. This is our second pants lot today, right? Second or third? Second. No, I lied. It's our third pants lot. We had 2 bundles of 2 pairs of pants, and now we have this bundle of 3. Listed these on Saturday. They sold on Sunday, so less than 24 hours on these. These are, where are these? Where'd that sale go? Wrong tab. Wait for it. I accidentally closed out that tab. Welcome to my life. These sold for a best offer of $65. Sold in less than 24 hours. These are Eddie Bauer Travex Horizon Guide Pants. They're all size 34 by 34. These Eddie Bauer hiking pants can be good. The First Ascent ones are better, but even the regular base Eddie Bauers are good. In this case, this is the Eddie Bauer Travex line, which is a little bit better than the base line. I listed these for $75, went back and forth with the customer on these, sold for $65. So I paid $5 a piece just this week at a thrift store. And so $15 total into $65 on this bundle. And you got to love it, like under 24 hours on these. Good size on that 34 by 34 too. My payout's going to be $49.59, and I paid $15. So my profit on these is going to be 34 and change in less than 24 hours. That's hard to beat, you know. Hard to beat. These are going to Minnesota, to Jeremy. Thank you, Jeremy, for that quick purchase, quick sale. I just started in May, and I look at everyone's clothing brands now. Do you always bundle if same size? Do you always bundle if same brand and size? The answer is no. But if it's the same, like this case, it's the same brand, same size, same model, oftentimes I will. Now, if that item's a really high sell-through rate item anyway, like if it's a poncho shirt and they're all the same size, same model, I can sell those separately and probably sell them faster than selling them all 3 together, if that makes sense. Because it's more, you know, that brand is a 400% sell-through rate, right? So I'm probably going to sell all 3 inside the week anyway. I would rather just find 3 individual buyers for those instead of lotting them together, because now I need one person who wants 3 of them, you know? But in this case, this is kind of like a mid sell-through rate item. It's probably like a 50% sell-through rate, which is good, but not great. So I put them together and sell them in under 24 hours for a 50% sell-through rate item. So, but I don't always bundle all the time. But if it makes sense from like a sell-through rate perspective, then yes, I do. Great sale right there. I mean, $34 in under 24 hours. That's the profit after fees, after cost of goods, after shipping. $34, and I get my initial $15 back. So now I got $50 in my pocket to go out and buy more pants this week, and we'll just keep on flipping. Flip it. That wraps up eBay, but we got a whole bunch of Poshmark going out the door right now. By the way, just a quick little aside, a little commercial. I pick up FootJoy with bigger colleges on them. Yeah, I think that's a smart move for sure. There's always examples of things from every brand that are still worthwhile. Just a quick little commercial. Y'all, if you're interested, shipping during the live. I always ship, like if you order during the live, I'll ship coffee directly to your front door. It's fair trade, organic. It's roasted fresh every week. You can see Chris at Peak right there on the label. It's roasted by our friends Dynamite Roasting right up the road in Black Mountain, North Carolina. Their coffee's amazing. We're so honored to be able to partner with literally our favorite roaster in the world, right? This is our favorite coffee. This is what we drank every day. In fact, we drank this exact medium roast every single day from Dynamite Roasting. We partnered with them 3 years ago. They partner with all the coffee, the coffee farms across the country. They ship all the coffee to them. They roast all the coffee. They grind it if you want to grind. This one's whole bean, but all our coffee is available whole bean and ground. They take care of all that stuff, put it in the bags for us, put our logo on it, right? And we ship it to your front door. So awesome partners. And we get it shipped. It gets roasted every Thursday and delivered to us in one of their vans. And then we ship it to all our customers all across the country. So if you want to get you a bag right now, I'm going to drop the link right down below in the chat. You can always find this link at chrisatpeak.com. Boom, it's right there. It's always at chrisatpeak.com. It's also linked in the description of this video as well. If you want to get yourself a bag of coffee, just like we're shipping out all the clothing, I'll ship coffee right to your front door. And if you see the prices, you're familiar with premium coffee, you know that I'm not overpricing this. I'm actually low in the market for a coffee that's fair trade or organic. And this coffee right here is actually single origin. So we're talking about premium coffee. People sell very similar coffee to this in terms of like what tier it is. And they oftentimes will sell it for $3, $4, $5, $6, $7 more per bag for premium coffee of this style. So of this caliber, I think ours is better, but I'm of course biased. We have a light roast, a medium roast, a dark roast. That's my commercial. The link is right down there below if you want to grab a bag. If you want to drink the same coffee that I'm drinking, this is the medium roast. This little bit of oat milk, and this was cold brewed overnight. So we cold brew our coffee 12 to 24 hours. We drink hot coffee too. In fact, Kim had hot coffee this morning. I had the cold brew. We mix it up. We both do. I think she might have had one hot and one cold, if you care. If you have questions about coffee, let me know. If you're looking for a recommendation, you're not sure, you're like, hey, this is the brand just let me know. This is the brand I drink now. This is the roast that I drink right now. What do you suggest, Chris? And I can give you a good recommendation. So let me know. But I would love to ship a bag to your front door, roasted fresh every Thursday. You can't smell my office, but it smells like freaking coffee. Sometimes you probably don't want to smell what's going on the other side of a live stream. In this case, you do. It smells like a coffee shop in my office at all times. Even more so on Thursday and Friday, like when we get the fresh coffee in. It's just crazy how fresh it smells in here. We're going to switch over to Poshmark now. Got a bunch of orders on Posh. It was a good Posh weekend. And let's pick up right... We'll do it in order. How about that? This is great. Where is it? Here it is. So this is a time, I preach looking up sold comps and using sold comps to make your decisions about what to price items at. So I found this brand new with tags, Duluth. You can see it says men's Shoreman fleece. I don't know if you can see that. Shoreman fleece grid walk right there. So this is a time when actually sold prices, like the sold comps, could have steered me wrong. The sold comps for this was around $40 brand new with tags. But here's where things got interesting. I went to the Duluth website because I wanted to figure out what the retail price is. This tag doesn't have the retail price. I wanted to figure out the retail price. And what did I find? Size 3XL was sold out. So I was like, cool. So now people who want this jacket, they go to the website, those like new with tag shoppers that are willing to pay full price, which is, by the way, $109.95 is the full asking for the full price. They don't have an asking price, right? But that's the full price. So people who are full price buyers who are willing to pay that price can't buy it for that price. So they're going to have to Google and figure out where can I find this jacket because it's out of stock at Duluth. And they come to my listing on eBay. And they're just going to pay, as long as it's under $109, they're just going to buy it because they were willing to pay $109.99. So I went on eBay. There was only one other 3XL listed. The color was red, not black. So kind of a different buyer there. And theirs was listed for $99.99. So I listed mine for $89.99. And this was a nifty best offer. So This wasn't. No, this was an offer that I listed this for $80. It sold for $80. That's what I did. Yeah, sorry, I had to think that thing through. Yeah, I listed this for $80. It sold for full asking price $80. So I just priced it below the other one on the market that was also red, 3XL, sold for 80. Comps were $40, but those weren't 3XLs that happened to be out of stock at that time on D's Trading. All the other sizes were in stock except for the 3XL. So it was sold out. So that worked out well for me. Sometimes those sold comps lie. This also sold in, it was like really fast too. Let me just see here. Wait for it. Wait. It sold in 11 days. So I spent $9.99 at the thrift store. Took 11 days to sell. $80 on this. Poshmark's going to keep a 20% fee. So that's going to be $16. So that leaves me with 64. So my profit on this one is $54 after shipping fees, all that stuff. $54. Took 11 days to sell. So my profit is actually more than what the comps told me. The comps told me to list this for $40. The sold comps. So sometimes you gotta, be a little bit resourceful. I think this will fit in one of these boxes. I kind of got lucky there, if I'm being honest, because I just wanted to know what the retail price was for the listing. And I was like, hey, they're out of 3XL. I'm like, I'm pretty sure the one I have is 3XL. Double checked the listing on Nifty. I was like, yeah, that's 3XL. So I'm like, cool. I'm going to price this Bad Larry up because I'm going to be the only one that has it. And that's key, that the full price buyer came in and was happy to pay my $80 because they're like, shoot, I was going to buy it on the website for $109. Maybe I should have priced it higher. I don't know. But I got the quick sale. It's a good outcome. I moved it fast, 11 days. And we are on to the next one. So now I got my $10 initial buy cost back. I got myself $54 in profit. That means I got $64 back in my pocket to go buy more jackets this week. Gotta love when it happens that quickly too. I'll throw it in a box. Might as well. These boxes are free. Give it that extra protection and probably fits in this better than it fits in a bag anyway. Where did I put that shipping label? Did I print the shipping label? Oh, here it is. Aha. Where did you pick up the new Attack Duluth? The thrift store. It's been a while since I've been able to catch you live. Welcome in, Sophia. Hope you're doing well. Chris, I tried the little experiment like you did. Remember, by the way, all these lives are always available as a replay. So you can rewatch this if you're busy doing stuff. If you're listing, you're going to the post office, you're wrangling the kids, you're pretending to work, and your boss walks in and you got to go. I get it. You can always watch the replay on YouTube and Facebook. As soon as I end this live stream, it'll be available as a recording. And if you're watching the recording, write SHIP, SHIP, down below in the chat, so that I know that you're watching the replay. I get back to all those questions and comments on the replay as well. And the good thing about that is you can fast forward through the boring stuff. You can rewind to the good blows and all that stuff. How much did you charge for shipping? How much did I charge for shipping on what 745? I'm sorry. Do you bother responding to lowball offers? I sold something for $300 at full price the other day after being asked by another person if I would take $100. Do I bother responding? First time I always counter. And then if they continue to kind of be like, if they were still going to be in like the $100 range after I countered at something that I was comfortable with, I would just ignore them after that is typically what I do. If they actually bring their offer up to something more reasonable, I'm like, cool, this person wants to negotiate in good faith. Let's do it. But otherwise, I'm like, they're not my buyer. They want this item for $100. And that's fine, but that's not my thing. That's not my price. And so not the right buyer for the right thing. But I always give everybody a chance with one counter. It's good for the algorithm to have offers and counter offers on things. All these platforms, their algorithm craves activity. Give it activity that it wants, and somebody will scoop it up from you because it'll show up higher in search results because eBay's like, hey, this item's in demand. Let's make sure that we put it in front of people, right? How much was shipping on 3-pack of pants? $9.95, and it actually cost me $9.37. So I charged the buyer $9.95 shipping, and the shipping label cost me $9.37. I totally watch you on YouTube, especially the thrifting tips. I learned so much. I appreciate you watching, Sophia. That's awesome. That's awesome. It means a lot to me. I appreciate you being here in the live. It makes it a lot more fun. Otherwise, I'd just be talking to the wall, and that would be really weird and boring. So I'm glad that you're here. It makes it more fun. Next up is a bundle. And this wasn't an item that I listed as a bundle. This is somebody on Poshmark came and found two things, put both of them in their, I guess you call it in your shopping bag, is I think what they call it, not your shopping cart, in your shopping bag. And then they made me an offer. I made a counter offer. We agreed at $40. So it's actually two pairs of pants. That means officially that's our fourth pant bundle of the weekend, of the past 2 days. That's pretty good. So I think it's this pair of Under Armour. This is the Under Armour Drive, just like a basic golf pant right there. I paid $5 for those. And this is I don't know if I'm saying this right. Kinsey? I don't know how you pronounce that brand. These are both men's pants. The bundle offer was $40. That's what we settled on for these two. So I paid $5 for the Under Armours. I don't remember how much I paid for the Kinseys. I bought those in Richmond on my Richmond. You can see that on the YouTube video when I went to Richmond last month. But we're going to put these in this bag. So I don't know how much I paid for those there. Maybe we'll just estimate I paid $7 maybe. So 7 plus 5 is $12 for these total buy costs, and they sold for $40. Poshmark's going to keep 20%, so they're going to keep $8. That's going to leave me with 32. 32 minus 12 means I made $20 profit on these two pairs of pants. So I did not list these together. The buyer put together a bundle. The other 3 bundles of pants were all they were all listed as bundles and sold as bundles, obviously. So let's just see here. Those Kinseys took 13 days to sell, and the Under Armour pants took 85 days to sell. So 2.5 months, almost 3 months for one, and 13 days for the other. Out the door. You know I like me a good bundle. Awesome. Hey, thanks to all the videos. Well, hey, thanks for being here in the live. Concerned Citizen, how are you? What's going on? How's your Monday going? We got shipping to do. We got ship to do, so to speak. Next order is this. This is my favorite sale of the weekend for me. Vintage, made in the USA, Pendleton 100% virgin wool board shirt. Sold for $80, $5 at the thrift store. Found men's size medium. Found 3 men's size medium Pendleton vintage wool shirts back to back at a thrift store. $5 each. So this one I paid $5 for, sold for $80 on Poshmark. Sick. Vintage, made in the USA, Pendleton. I've been told that you're not supposed Pendleton. You're not supposed to say the D. Like it's supposed to be a soft D. That's a weird thing to say out loud. Pendleton is, I guess, how you say it out there in Oregon. Anyway, $80 on this. After fees, Poshmark's going to pay me out $64. I paid $5, so $59 in profit on this one. And I was just going to tell you how long it took to sell. The other 2 are still in stock. This one took 10 days to sell, so I just listed all 3 of them 10 days ago. One's gone. Great profit on that. Just sick. Hey, Chris, got a pair of Tommy Bahama Island Zone reversible shirts, new tag. So you think bundle, they have 5%, 50% sell-through rate, sorry. And seems to go for 35 to 40 each. Yeah, I mean, same model, same size. Yeah, give it a go. Give it a go. You know, if it's 100% sell-through rate, if it's 80% sell-through rate, I'm probably going to list them individually, but something like that, especially if they're two different colors. If they're the same color, it's a little bit tougher to bundle because now somebody's buying two of the identical shirts, if that makes sense. But if they're two different colors and they're the same model and everything, yeah, let them rip together. I'd rather put it in one shipping bag with one shipping label to print out than two. That's the way I see it. Nice finds. One of my favorite things to buy and sell is vintage wool Pendleton. It's just been, when I started reselling in 2018, it was a hot thing. It's still a hot thing now. I feel like vintage Pendleton will always be a thing. I don't think that's going anywhere. I just think that's one of those things that will just always be in demand. I've been trying to resell for about 2 months now. The best seal did so far is 3 baby stuffed animals I bought for $12 and sold each one for $27.99 each, but my sales are slow. Gotcha. I would just, there's probably one of 3 things that you could improve at. And it might be more like 2 or all 3 of these things. But when anybody's new, when I was new, there's kind of 3 main things that people can probably improve on. Number 1 is making sure that you're picking up items that are actually in demand, right? That people want to buy and pay for. So make sure you're looking up sell-through rates of items so you can determine, are these really in demand, these items? Number 2 is your pricing. I find that oftentimes when people are new, they try to price at the top of the market, but it might not be realistic to expect top of the market prices, especially if 3 is also true, that maybe your listing quality can be a little bit better. And I'm talking about photos, descriptions, keywords, measurements. If you're selling clothing, making sure you're putting measurements in there, promoting, cross-listing, using automation tools. That's like your listing strategy. So to me, it's 1 of those things or 2 of those things or 3 of those things. It's pricing, it's making sure that you're picking up the right items that are actually in demand, and how good are your listings compared to other resellers, because you're competing in usually a very competitive marketplace on eBay and Posh, Mercari, Depop, whatever it is, where oftentimes other people are selling the exact same item as you or very similar items to you. So if they have better pictures, they have better listings, they're cross-listing on multiple platforms, they're paying to promote, they're probably going to sell the item before you do. Sometimes even if your price is better, because this the way they've presented those items online is better. So I would just continue to work at it. Sounds like you're 2 months. So you're brand new. You're brand spanking new. I grew up as an adult in the restaurant business. That's how I learned business. And so I often use metaphors for it. You're 2 months in. You can't be a chef, right? You're just 2 months in. You can be a rough around the edges line cook, and you have to go through that process. You have to just learn and get better as you go. So yeah, don't expect to get results at somebody who's been doing it for years when you've been doing it for 2 months, but continue to make sure that you're learning every day and getting better at your craft. And someday you'll be a chef, metaphorically speaking, but it's unrealistic to expect that at 2 months in that you're going to be as good as the chef, metaphorically. I think you get what I'm saying, but you're probably doing great, but everybody needs to get better every day, including myself. So at 2 months, there's probably a lot for you to still work on. Just keep working on those fundamentals. Thanks. Yes, different colors. Cool. Yeah, I'd put them together. I do think a lot of beginners think they have an eye for what sells, and that's dangerous. Got to use the data to make decisions. Absolutely. The better you get at the data, if you get good at data first, the gut becomes useful, if that makes sense, because now you're basing your gut feeling, your eye is based in data, right? That's better. Starting with just eye without data doesn't make a lot of sense. I can use my gut on some things because that gut is based on data and years of looking at data, right? So then I can knowing the sell-through rates of all these items that are similar, when I find something that's a little bit different but still very similar to those things, I can say, I can use my gut. Like if my cell phone doesn't work in a store, which happens a lot, or if I'm at a garage sale and I just got to make, I can't do the research, I'm in a negotiation, I just got to make a call, my gut's going to be better because it's informed by years of data. So even if I don't know that exact item, haven't sold that exact item, I can draw inferences from other similar items based in data and make a good decision. I never get to catch you live, but I watch all your videos. Thanks for watching all the videos, Kate. That's awesome. I've learned so much. Thank you from Pensacola, Florida. That's awesome. I've been through Pensacola once. Florida is like a sneaky big state. I lived in Tampa for a little bit, or just outside of Tampa in Newport Richey. And when we moved from Colorado, we passed through Pensacola. We actually stayed a night. Did we stay a night in Pensacola? I believe we did. Yeah, we spent a night in Pensacola. And that was like, we lived in Tampa for, or Newport Richey for 2 years after that, and never once went back that way. It's so far. Like, it's like a full day. I feel like it's like 8 hours from Pensacola to like the Tampa area. Am I wrong with that? But it's a sleepy big state. That panhandle is very far. I'm going to be in Miami here soon coming up. And like, that's so, like, Miami to Pensacola is like it's like another planet. It's so far away. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, I don't know, a little bit of a rant. Thanks for watching the videos anyway. I try to keep my prices slightly lower than other people, but I do think listing needs a lot of work, and I need to get better at finding in-demand items. Cool. And I need to get better at all those things too. Just know that we all have to get better every day. But it's good that you're recognizing it, you're acknowledging it, you're being you're realistic about where you're at, and just, all right, cool. What's one thing that you can do better today than you did yesterday? And I think that's what progression is. Like, how do I get 1% better every single day? I think that's a good way to think about things. Next up is another really good sale. This was a fast one. I like selling this brand. They make some really funky stuff. This sold in 11 days. So this is The Office and Roosevelt's. So this is a collab. This brand, Roosevelt's, RSVLTS. All their stuff is collabs with TV shows, movies, that sort of thing. So this one has all over The Office, like the TV show The Office. And I think there's like a theme name to this one. It's called Series 5 Threat Level Midnight is what this one is called. So there's a number of different The Office versions. This one's Series 5 Threat Level Midnight. Sold for a best offer of $30. Sold full asking price, $30 on this one. Full asking price, $30. I did have competition on this shirt. I actually had some competition that was priced below me on this shirt. And I was still able to get a quick sale because this one went on Poshmark. Maybe I didn't have competition on Poshmark, but I definitely had competition on eBay. So maybe that's why it sold quickly on Posh. Maybe I didn't have somebody that had the same size, same model. That's possible. I didn't check. This one's going to Charleston, South Carolina. Place we recently visited on a travel to thrift video. Man, we had a lot of fun in Charleston. What a great town. Tea's great. We lived here for 15 years. The Air Museum is incredible. Miami is about a 10-hour drive, right? It's like crazy. Crazy. That's so far. I mean, even North Carolina, like for us, the state's so long. It would take us, it's 6 hours to get to Wilmington, which is like the beach in North Carolina. It's even further if we went to the Outer Banks, and actually there's places in North Carolina that are further west of us still. I mean, we can still drive another 2 hours. It's not like due west, but we can drive like 2 hours west and we'd still be in North Carolina. And we can drive 6 hours to the east to Wilmington. It's kind of crazy. At least it's weird for me because I grew up in New Hampshire. And if I drove, it took 4 hours to drive to New York City from New Hampshire, which is less than what it takes me to get to Wilmington, North Carolina, same state. But from where I lived in New Hampshire, we would drive all the way through Massachusetts, through Connecticut, and into New York, and that was only 4 hours. Philadelphia was like 5 hours, maybe 5.5 hours. So then you drive through New York and then into Pennsylvania. So it's just crazy. You just like rip through all those like small states up there, and then like North Carolina, you go end to end. It might be like 8 hours end to end. It's kind of crazy, but Pensacola to Miami is nuts. I've sold well over 20,000 items, and I still have a bear bank from when I first started that I can't give away. Great call and reminded beginners not to compare themselves to years of experience. Yeah. And it doesn't mean like, hey, you're 2 months in, so you suck. And somebody who's been doing it a long time, is awesome. There's also people who've been doing it a long time that need to like up their game too, right? Just like I worked with line cooks, in restaurants that have been line cooks for 20 years, and they were kind of crappy line cooks, and they never became chefs. So, it's not just years of experience too. Yeah, you can be pretty new to this game and be better than some old dogs that just never really got it. And it doesn't mean you can't make a living. Old people who aren't so good at this game can still make a living at this game if they've been doing it long enough, and if they have good sources and stuff too. If they know their niche pretty well, they can still do a lousy job with photos, and maybe they don't do any like the cross listing and the automation tools and stuff, and they can still make a living doing this and kind of be crummy. They just made a way to work. Just like a line cook can be a crummy line cook. They've been doing it for 20 years. They still suck at it, but they're just good enough that they can keep hold down the job and keep that paycheck, but they'll probably never become a chef. Right. But yeah, that's funny about your one item that you still have after 20,000 sales. It makes sense. I appreciate all you tell us. It's fun to play a small role in your big journey. So happy to be a part of it. Cheers from Miami. Glad to catch another Monday live. Are you coming here to thrift? I will. I'll be down in Miami coming up soon. I don't give specifics about like when I'm traveling and all that stuff for obvious reasons, because this is very public, but soon I will be in Miami to come thrift. Thanks for being here, Pamela. I have been at this for 5 months. I have everything in poly mailers and bins by number. Do you ever go back and audit what is in your bids and reorganize your inventory? I really don't. I mean, I have before. It's something I should probably do more frequently. When it comes down to it, I'm like, all right, cool. Today's the day that I'm going to go out and like reorganize inventory and consolidate and do all this stuff and audit everything. And I'm like, but there's so many other things I could do to generate income for my business today. I could go shoot a video. I could go edit content that's sitting on my phone. I could do some photo. There's so many different things that I can do that I would always find an excuse not to go do the audit thing, because I really don't want to do it. So I probably should do it. I just don't. So there's my answer. I would recommend that others do it, though. Do as I say, not as I do. I live in Miami, and we call it North Cuba. Brush up on your Spanish. You'll need it to communicate here. English is the second language. My Spanish, which used to be okay, passable, I could communicate with. I just haven't had to communicate in Spanish for so long that I won't remember much of anything. So if that's the if me not speaking Spanish means I'm going to fail down there, then I'm going to fail down there, because there will be no brushing up on it before I go down there. I have a shirt right now on eBay, and I'm the highest priced, but I am the only one with it listed on Depop, which is where I expect it to sell. I have a shirt right now on eBay. I'm the highest priced, but I'm the only one with it and listed on Depop. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense to me. Low, seriously. Yep. Next Poshmark sale. Thanks everyone for keeping me company and chatting. It's always fun to get to know y'all and hear what's going on with your businesses, wherever you are in your journey. I like being a part of it. This one's going to Bradley. This brand's pretty cool. I found it for the first time last year. And again, I've been doing this for 8 years now, and I still find new brands all the time. The Seaward and Stern. It says London there. Just because it says London doesn't mean it's worth money. But just because it says London, I'm always going to look it up. If there's London on a logo for something and I don't know the brand, I'm going to look up that brand. So that's why I looked up this one. It also feels like, honestly, it feels a little bit like linen. It is a cotton shirt, but it's like really nice construction on this shirt. But just the fact that it said London is worth me taking a second to look it up. I've sold this brand now. I think this is the third one I've picked up and the second one I've sold. This one sold for a best offer of $29, and I paid $5 for it. I'm going to tell you how long it took to sell. I don't think it took very long. It took 58 days to sell. So 2 months on this one, $29. Really nice pattern on this too. Seaward and Stern. My guess is it's not a brand that you'll come across very often, because I don't. But maybe in other regions in the country, it's a little bit more common. But $29. My buy cost was $5. Poshmark's going to keep about $6 from this sale, so that's going to leave me with $23. And I paid $5, so my profit's $18. Not bad. Love that episode of The Office. I don't know if I know that episode. I've watched some episodes of The Office, but I haven't watched all episodes of The Office. Like I wasn't like into The Office. I think it's funny, but I never really like dug in and watched all of it. None of the thrift store workers speak English here in Miami. That's all right. I don't need to I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to become friends. I'm just trying to give them US dollars for shirts. It's fine. I don't need to talk to them. I'll be good, I think. But I appreciate the warning. But it just, all they got to say is, I can look at the little screen and it will say the price, $29.29. Cool. Here's $30. I think I'll be all right. Wonder if AI is making the sales go. I can order a cerveza, so that I'm good there. That's what I'll need. As long as I can say uno más cerveza, por favor, I think I'm going to be good down in Miami. Wonder if AI is making the sales go better or AI or both. Wonder if AI is making the sales go better or AI or both. I'm not sure I understand the question. Maybe some context will help me out there. Sometimes I have a hard time picking up what people are putting down. My fault. Maybe some context will help out. That tag just looks expensive. Yeah, it's like sometimes you see a tag and you're like, all right, this one's worth a look up. It doesn't always work. But yes, that definitely fits the bill. London in and of itself is enough for me to look something up. Doesn't mean everything from London is going to be worth money, but it's at least worth my couple of seconds of time to look it up if it's from London. Next up is a pair of cool hiking shorts. I have 3 cool sales going out the door from the last 2 days on Poshmark. Kind of interesting. A cool weekend. It absolutely was not a cool weekend here, but it is a cool weekend of sales. A pair of women's hiking shorts here, women's size 10. You can see the logo right there. This is like one of those brands I learned like right at the beginning of my reseller career. I lived in Denver back then in 2018, so I would see a lot of Cool. Cool is a hiking brand, right? And it was one that I feel like nobody knew really well back then, but I knew it because my background is a whole bunch of hiking, skiing, backpacking, rock climbing, right? So this is the stuff that we all, that I wore and everybody in my, my crew wore. So I knew this brand before a lot of people did, made a lot of money off Cool over the years, especially those early days. It's still a good seller. It's just really high quality stuff. People who like the brands, are loyal to this brand. Expensive, brand new. $19 for a pair of women's hiking shorts. I paid $5 for them. How quick did these sell? 46 days to sell, a month and a half on those. Nice. We got them out the door before the end of the summer. That makes me happy. These are going to Lincoln, Nebraska. Still got a good amount of sales, y'all. It was a good weekend. And man, it was almost an elite weekend. And then things kind of slowed down yesterday afternoon. It was like gangbusters. And then it kind of, the afternoon and evening was really slow. I'm like, man, this is like an all-timer type of weekend. It was still a very good weekend, but the gas kind of ran out at the end. Yesterday started off so hot too, and it just sort of deflated. Walter Hagen, I bought a whole bunch of these for $3 a piece, retail clearance. I've sold most of them. There's still a handful of these left though. This sold for $17. Again, quantity one, or measurement. I do 1 round of photos, 1 round of measurements, set the quantity to whatever it was. I think it was like 18 of these. And every time one sells, goes out the door for $17. I'm making like close to $10 profit, maybe $9 profit every time it sells. And again, on the front end, it took me the same amount of time as one listing, but I ended up with 18. So that's why I love, even though this is a smaller margin item, it's, per unit, yeah, it's smaller margin, but I'll probably end up making off 18 of these. Say I make $9 a piece on average on that. What's that math? Why do y'all always make me do math on live? 18 times 9. Oops. 18 times 9. So that SKU, that one listing, will make me $162 profit. And then every time one sells, I just have to take this minute to throw it in one of these bags, slap a shipping label on it, like super easy. So one could argue that this is better inventory than like that Pendleton that I sold, bought for $5, sold for 80, made 50 something bucks in profit off of. I'm going to make more profit off these silly Walter Hagen golf polos. I don't pick up Walter Hagen if it's used. Even if it's new, it has to be really cheap. I got those for like $3 a pop, so that was really good. And they're still selling. I still have a few more of them. Vintage Wrangler here. And what's interesting about, look at that flower pattern on this thing, really cool piece. What's interesting is it's a button down instead of a pearl snap. I feel like this would have been a cooler shirt if it was pearl snaps. This sold on a best offer of $29, and I paid $5 for it. Not all Wrangler's worth your time, but if it's vintage and has a cool pattern like that, it's probably worth your time. And that one, so $29 after fees, that's going to leave me with $23, and I paid $5, so my profit on this is another $18. You can really see how these add up when you ship out a whole ton of these. Wrangler. This is going to San Angelo, Texas. Makes sense. Ship a Wrangler down to Tejas. You get faster sales using AI lister or doing promoted listing or both. Sorry. Thank you for the extra context. So, in a really competitive market, which we are, a lot of people had very similar Wranglers listed, right, on eBay and Poshmark. So in very competitive markets, I'm looking for any little edge that can help me get sales, right? So the AI lister helps me save time because it lists faster than I can list, because it writes the item title, writes the description, checks all those boxes for the item specific. So it saves me time, which is great because now I have more time to go buy more stuff and list more stuff. But also it's loading up that listing with really good keywords, better than I could do on my own. So the keywords are going to help me show up higher in search results. The keywords aren't just the item title. It's all the keywords that it packs into the description too. So Nifty does that for me. It just packs my listings full of keywords. I'm going to show you a listing right now. It'll be this pair of cool shorts that we're going to ship out in a second here. I'm going to share my screen really quick so you can see what I'm talking about. So here's the shorts, brand new pair of cool shorts, found them at the thrift store for $5. They sold for 33 on Poshmark. But what I'm talking about is here. See how it gives you a little description of these cool curved shorts. It adds all this stuff into the description, ton of keywords there. And then see at the bottom how it slaps on some more keywords, hiking shorts, outdoor gear, gray shorts, all this stuff. So when people are searching on Poshmark, it's not just going through the item title for the search results. It's also going through all these words too. So that's going to help you show up in search scores, so to speak. So I can't write this whole thing in a matter of a couple of seconds like a AI can do, right? So all I do is I drop the photos in there. So that's giving me an edge because my items are going to show up better in search results than some other people who don't have the same keyword game. So yes, AI helps with that. Better keywords, better search results, better sales, for sure. So yes, I also promote on eBay. I do not promote on Poshmark. So I do that too because I'm looking for that edge. Yes, I do white backgrounds on my photos and like take care with my photos so that my stuff looks professional, because as people are scrolling through search results, right, like there's a lot of things that they could click on. And if they don't click on mine, I have no chance of selling it. So if my photos look better than my competition, it's more likely they get clicked on. And if they get clicked on, it's more likely that I'm going to get the sale. Because if it doesn't get clicked on, there's no way you're going to get a sale. And it's the cover photo. So first, the keywords are going to help it show up in the search results. And then it's how good the photo is going to make somebody click on it. So there's all these people who have those same shorts listed. If I want mine to sell, I have to do something better than other people. I've worked in the restaurant business, ran restaurants for more than a decade. So I often use metaphors from that business. And I think the restaurant business is another business that most people either worked in or they've eaten in a restaurant, so they generally understand it. But if you're going to open a restaurant on a road, like let's picture it near how by the mall, there's always like a whole bunch of restaurants. If you're going to open a restaurant on the road with all these other restaurants, and you're competing for people who want to come buy a burger or a taco or a chicken sandwich or a steak. Those people can buy it at all those other restaurants, right? Sort of like if you list a pair of cool shorts on eBay or Poshmark, there's a whole bunch of other people who have those shorts too. Why are they going to go buy your shorts, or why are they going to eat your steak or burger? And there's all sorts of different ways that you can get little edges, right? Do you have better parking, right? Do you have a better sign? Do you have better marketing? Is your service better? Is your food actually better? And it's better. Like when I ran restaurants, like I wanted to beat people on a number of different things. I didn't want to be like, well, I have more parking, so I'm going to win this game. No, I wanted to have better food. I wanted really good, consistent quality food from good vendors. I wanted to have really great service staff, right? So people come in, they have they feel like they're being entertained and taken really well care of. You want to make sure that your restaurant is cleaner than everybody else's. You're looking for a number of little edges. I think people get it. Like you can't just like open a restaurant on a busy street with a whole bunch of restaurants and expect to beat all your neighbors unless you do a lot of things better than them, right? You literally have to out compete them for the same dollars. People get it with restaurants, I think, but I don't think people always get that on eBay and Poshmark. They think I can do the same thing. I can make a burger. I can slap up the cool shorts, right? And people will come and buy mine. It's like, no, you're competing on a strip of all these other sellers, right? And you're all selling very similar things. Why are they going to come buy yours? So I'm looking for all these little edges. And that's why I'm a big fan of Nifty and their automation tools too, because it gives me those edges. It puts those keywords in there. It's constantly delisting and relisting my items as the day goes on. So far today on eBay, it's refreshed 69, or they call it recreate 69. It's relist 36 on Mercari. It's relisted 16 on Poshmark. It's sent 22 offers on Poshmark. It's sent 12 offers on eBay. It's sent one offer on Mercari. It's shared 2,552 times on Poshmark. I'm looking for all these little edges, right? And cross-listing allows me to have multiple platforms, more audience that can come buy my stuff. So there's no like magic bullet in reselling, just like there's no magic bullet in running a competitive restaurant that's going to beat all your neighbors. You got to do all the things really well, So that's what I preached on this channel for years and years and years. It's like, you got to be good at all the things, and you got to be constantly getting better. And especially as new tools come, available to you, you got to figure out like, how do I stay competitive? Because other people are doing really great photos. Other people are including measurements in their listing. Other people are cross-listing. Other people are using automation tools to show up higher in search results. So if they're out competing me, how am I going to stay in business? How am I going to continue to grow and thrive? How is 2026 going to be my best year in business? And we're on pace to do that, but I still got to keep hustling to make that happen. And I believe it will be our best year, but it's because I have to keep evolving, keep getting better, because everybody else around me is. If I don't, Surfs is going to beat me, or K-Way is going to beat me, right? And I don't want them getting the sales when I want the sales. Listed two, I don't want Candy to beat me either, but she probably will. Listed 2 items. I listened to you. Yay me, you're doing great, Candy. Late start today. I just got out of school. Yes, I started a little late today. I did some listing first thing today, because I kind of slacked on listing last week. Yeah, I got subscribed to Nifty about 2 months ago. I have just over 100 items cross-listed. Kind of slow to me. I sell used clothing. Nifty is definitely a great tool. Been selling 15 years. Nice. Thanks for sharing all that. We got an OG in the house. My one question to you is, have you turned on all those automation tools on Nifty? That would be, is it doing the sharing for you? Is it sending the offers for you? All that stuff. Yo, what's up, Roberto? Your sales are slow. Why do you think sales are slow? What do you think's causing it? And then what's one thing you're going to do today to make sales get better? Two-part question for you. What's causing it? What do you think? And then how are you gonna make it a little bit better? What's one thing that you can do to make it a little bit better? There's no blame in the eBay or Poshmark gods around here. That's not allowed, right? It's like, okay, cool. What can I do? What am I doing wrong? What can I do better? And that's what we always say, because someone's getting the sales, and by someone I mean I'm getting the sale. They had a great weekend of sales. That's not bragging. It's just like, hey, it was a good weekend. It was a slower week, kind of up and down week, but it was definitely a good weekend. I just closed my Poshmark sales tab, and now we're back open. All right, next one is, I showed you those cool shorts, so I might as well ship those next. So brand new with tags. It's always fun finding new with tags at the thrift store. Even more fun when it's cool too. So women's size 6 on these. These sold for $33 on Poshmark. So shoot, if I didn't cross list, how many items did I sell on Poshmark this weekend? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 Poshmark orders. It's a big deal. And for 2 days, that's 6 a day for the last 2 days. That's a big deal. And look, y'all, I've been cross-listing since 2021 was when I first started cross-listing. So in terms of like believing in the concept of cross-listing, I mean, I've been doing it for 5 years. It's almost hard to remember what my business was like before cross-listing because I've been cross-listing longer than I've been not cross-listing, if that makes sense. All right, out the door. And the cross-listers back then were not as good as what they are now. The technology has gotten so much better. Thank God. Next up, a pair of Duluth shirts. Yeah, three Duluth trading sales from the last 2 days. Duluth trading. This one here is Duluth Untucked. Men's size large, tall right here. Sold for a full asking price, $22. I don't pick up all these shirts from Duluth. This one has, I mean, this one screams, that feels like fall to me, right? And it's like that untucked model, kind of like an Untuck It or, made to be worn untucked. Just a sharp looking shirt, nice plaid pattern. $22 on this one. It's going to Oak Park, Michigan. Thank you, Steve. Nothing crazy there. I spent $5 for this, so sold for $22. After fees, Poshmark's paying me out $17.60. So with my $5 buy cost, I'll make $12.60 after cost of goods, shipping, and fees. $12.60. Not bad. Yeah, I have the $70 package with Nifty. It's doing all the sharing, following, and throwing offers out constantly. I sold a Free People tennis skirt in 5 minutes on eBay. Other items are slower. Yep, and it all comes down to Nifty's great. It does a lot of things. I don't know anything about your business, so I'm not going to, don't take this as like insulting or me telling you anything. There's other people listening, and I think they can all benefit from the same thing. But if your sales are slow, I would go back to the basics. Are you listing items that are in demand, that have good sell-through rates? Are your photos better than your competition? And the rest of your listing quality, right? The keywords, the measurements, and all that stuff. Your descriptions, your all that. Are your listings better than your competition? And are you pricing better than your competition too? And I would just get back to something. Maybe it's worth kind of looking at some older inventory and kind of double checking. Is this priced accurately? Are my photos good? And is this item actually a really good sell-through rate item? If not, you might need to crank the price down even lower. Another pair of Cools. This is a men's pair of pants. I actually sold these on eBay. They got returned because they didn't fit. This is called the Cool Liberator. Cool Liberator Stealth convertible pants. These ones had a small flaw on them, so I priced them at the bottom of the market. These typically sell like $30 to $35. You can even get like close to $40 on these. But I priced mine at the bottom of the market like $28. Took an offer for $24 on these because they had like a couple of spots on them or whatever. So even with flaws on an item that's got to sell for like $35, there's still a lot of profit to be made when it sells with the flaws. So this sold for $24. I paid $5. Good news is it's sold on Poshmark, so I can't get a does not return fit. This time, it's not coming back, which is cool. I appreciate that about Poshmark, the no returns for fit. Yes, good advice, Julie. Thank you. This is one of the better models of Cool because it's that convertible zip-off pant. And a lot of brands, the convertibles will tend to sell for a little bit more money and a little bit faster than the non-convertibles. Just, that's a big, broad generalization, but that's going to be true most of the time. And it is true with cools. Some cool pants are more like, $30 sellers. Some are better. And this is more like probably more like 35 to 40 typically on these Liberator Stealth convertible pants. Always happy to find these. And yep, I'll pick them up if they have some small flaws too, like in this case. Hey, that Duluth is going to my hometown. So random because it's a tiny suburb in Metro Detroit. That's awesome. The Oak Park, that's funny. What are the odds, These are going to Great Falls, Montana, if anyone's in that area. If anyone's out there. Last sale of the day, y'all. We are done. So this is a Jordan. This sold on. This is our one Mercari. Was this Mercari? Yeah, this is our one Mercari sale. Brand new tags, $38 retail Jordan. You can see it's got kind of like a cool, like artistic Jordan. I think that's an AJ. Yeah, AJ1 on the front. $21.99 full asking price on this. I bought a whole bunch of these retail arbitrage. This is the last one of this shirt, I believe, that I have in stock. So that one's sold out. Sold 2 of these Jordan tees this weekend, so that's good. The other one was a red one. That's going to wrap it for our live today. This is our last sale going out. I do appreciate y'all hanging out for a bit. It makes it a lot more fun when I can chat with you and hear about your business and hear about your sales. And maybe you learned something today. Maybe you cracked half a smile. If you haven't hit that like button, that helps me out. And if you haven't subscribed or followed, we're Chris at Peak on all platforms. So you can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. A good reminder, just dropped a new YouTube video this past Wednesday. I did a cannonball thrift run down to some of the richest zip codes in the whole state of North Carolina, just outside of Charlotte, like South Charlotte and Southeast Charlotte. Some top 10 zip codes in terms of per household income. So went to some of those thrift stores, had a good time. 2.5 hour drive to Charlotte, and then a 2.5 hour drive back home, plus a bunch of thrift stores. Plus, we got some really good tacos in that video, too. So it was a full-on day. I think you'll enjoy that video if you haven't watched it over there on YouTube. I'd love for you to go check it out. And if you do enjoy the video, hit the like button on that, too. And drop a comment on the video, too. Let me know what you thought of it. I have fun making those videos for you. Even on those big, long days. I mean, I got home late, was very tired. Was very hungry and slept very well that night. I forgot to mention the only downside of the pair of new tag shirts I got is the thrift store likes to write on the tag the boutique price. I'm sure I can still sell as new tags. I can get the ink off nice. Yeah, what a pain that they do that. But either way, you should be good on those. You're welcome for sharing. Appreciate y'all being here. I hope you have an awesome week. We'll do this again next Monday as we do it every Monday. We'll go live and we'll talk about sales and we'll talk shop and all that stuff. But in the meantime, I hope you have a great week. I hope you find some great stuff. I hope you flip some things. And most importantly, I hope you learn some stuff this week, because that's the most important thing for any business or many business owner, is that you're getting a little bit better. You're learning something every day. So maybe I played a role in that today. Hope so. And we'll see you next Monday. Peace.